Alrighty guys, Lemon02 here. We're getting ready to play in the 100 card Singleton Chainsaw Massacre event, hosted off Gatling. It's a free event, player run event. This is the deck we'll be playing. Kind of mentioned it in the last video series I just did now. First match will be against Michelle Wong. We currently are set up. We actually called this one. We called her out and said, yeah, we're going to go first, even though there's 10 players. So we have Littlefield likely on White Weenie. Boost Mongoose, don't know. Generally plays a different deck. We're in a deck we've played before with minor changes, not many. Don't know what she's on. She said it's a cheesy deck, so my guess would be red-green or green-white. Don't know. Said gimmicky. So we'll see. Got a lot of counter spells, so hopefully those are good. If they're not, well, we may lose. If it's mono, I can't counter your spells deck, then we probably can't win it. But hey. Well, let's see what these two are on. Dots is on 4C control, I bet. Booze, I can never really tell. I used to think he was a blue-green player, but he played a little bit of anything. Sometimes very strong competitive decks, sometimes more gimmicky decks that I think tend to be a little less good in this format. I don't know. I think Booze can get him. They both mulled. Mulling in Dot's deck tends to be bad. Now, if he has early critter answers, he can probably get him. We're waiting for our match to start. She may be scouting right now, which is what we're doing too. So we have 10 minutes to start the match. Ours will go long, more than likely, unless her deck just like overruns me, because my deck is not fast. They just started. This is 1 minute deep. It's waiting to start. Okay, there's only one game going. Blood Crypt. Jund. Jund it is. No 1 or 2 drop mana critter. Living Wish. Well, we're pretty sure we know Dot's deck list within like plus or minus 4 to 5 cards. I can probably just look at my own. It's pretty close. We have a few differences. Caracas. Well, I guess it's not a bad assumption. I don't know. I think Jun can get this. Its mana is going to be more consistent. He has a Caracas, which will allow him to like flip an Anafenza if that's what's being held in hand. You don't really want to flip that 3/3 Marchesa as I call her, Marchesa. Which I always thought was a funny name because Marchesa is basically like Jace the Mind Sculptor in clothes, and if you follow the reference to the actual Marchesa, who was an actress, that kind of makes sense. Lingering Souls, fine 3-drop. My guess would be he's got ways of dealing with that eventually. Mother of Runes, not per se great pressure. If Dots has a way to answer it, I'm sure he will, because most of his removal is going to be point-based, not sweeper effects. So Mother of Runes, if given the untap, could be very problematic. All right, we're going to jump out of this matchup, guys. Don't know how it's going to end up going, but we got to commit our time to this one because this is our game. Hand looks fine. Not phenomenal, but does have a duress. So if she's playing like a dot Blood Moon dot deck, then we can kind of get her with that. Arid Mesa turn 1, likely getting a Badlands to duress her on turn 1 to get any ramp out of her hand. What's the most problematic for us? Turn 1 Mana Dork would be kind of an issue because if she's able to do a 3-drop on turn 3, she's on green that is, but she's mulling, then we're going to lose the capabilities of Prohibit. But I think we go for Badlands and kind of lose some of our blue mana. And then Serum Visions may not be until like turn 4 or 5. We're just how we draw because this hand does not have a lot of gas. Like it does need to get into gas, but it has a little time to do that. It has a couple scries to make that happen. So I think we go for the duress turn 1 and try to get any like turn 3 or 4 cards, or like turn 1 ramp that we can get with this, which is not much. So what do we have? Crop Rotation, plus Academy Rector, plus Wall of Blossoms. Okie doke. Snipping Tool. Okie doke. Cool. That's gone. So we have time against this. Do we... So she has Phyrexian Arena likely in her deck, which would have been what she targeted for crop rotation, allowing her to kill. Okay, well... I think we plan on finding another answer. We're going to prohibit this wall just to keep her off cards and to keep her off natural order. I think that's probably the most prudent. Really cards, though. I just don't want to draw more cards. And we are, depending on what we draw, I could see Verdant Catacombs or I could see Temple of Epiphany next turn. It's really going to depend if we want to cast the Serum Visions. Obviously, we'd like to draw either a threat or counter magic so we can end this game quickly or stall it out until we can win it. All right, Sungrass Prairie. This is not happening. I'm going to counter this. She doesn't really have anything else going on in her hands. So she needs to draw into it. Ooh, disallow. Well, I'm going to play around her draw. I'm going to play around her draw here. And just keep the disallow up. And then we'll just play a longer game. We have time, I think, because her hand really didn't do anything. She has to draw into it. And if she were to draw, like, for instance, you know, a birthing pod, it'd just be pretty disgusting. Like, it'd just be game. Well, that's a strong draw. Leave up disallow. Put Remand on top for sure. Now we're kind of hoping we don't have to counter next turn. Because Chase the Mind Sculptor probably would be just game. I don't know. Like, Remand is nice because we can cast it, like, a turn after Jace. Jace can bounce something if we need to. I'll likely counter a 4-drop. If it's a Planeswalker, for sure. If it's a Critter, maybe. But probably nothing. Well, Oblivion Ring is a beating. So I think what we do is this. I think we just set up our top deck. I want any of this stuff. I don't want Daze. I think I want Dissolve, and I will Remand into it. And then set up Jace for next turn. Remand into it, hope to hit a land on the following turn. That should set me up for pretty good success, I think. Now, the worst thing that she could do is, like, play a Thrun. Like, Thrun would just be horrendous for us. That would be a huge time beating. We're a little down on time. Maze of Ith, garbage. I don't think we dropped the Jace yet. I mean, like, Jace is a sure win con, and she's short on mana. I don't have a way to kill things. So, yeah, F6. I want to wait for another land. I want to keep counter magic up. I know I'm giving her time to draw kind of out of the initial mana flood she had in her hand. And she plays a lot of lands. Well, there is a burst of lightning. Can kill most things, but I don't think I risk it here. I think I just F6 it. She's not likely to play at instant speed, which would punish me here. She is likely, very highly likely to play another land here. No, just all stuff in hands. In hand, rather. She could be holding 2 threats, but if I hit this other land, nope, can't hit a land. That's all right though. I got time. I'm not gonna burn off the burst lightning. The first card I use will likely be the Dissolve to try to scry a land atop. I'll fetch first if I have to do that. She has 2 utility lands that kind of allow her to stop attackers, which will eventually be annoying, but Jace doesn't really care about that. Jace just, you know. Okay. Well, it is Jace time. And Verdant Catacombs is likely to get... Do you have a counterspell? Could have... No, just fetching? Or are you going to play... No, you wouldn't fetch to play that card. I'm thinking maybe you have Aven Mind Sensor, which I could burn out with Burst Lightning. I'm going to plus it here just to play around. Idyllic Tutor. That would allow her... Do I want to put this on the bottom? No, I don't want to. I'm going to counterspell her... She's going to do this for Oblivion Ring, my guess would be. Or a card very much so like it. So I'll let her draw that and spend all 6 of her mana trying to do it, and then I'll just counter it. Actually, I could do that with Remand as well. Nah, no need to Remand it. I don't really mind if she does this. I think it's fine to let her do it. Oh, she already has the Oblivion Ring. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, well, we'll counter here, and hopefully she doesn't have another card that does the same thing. So she drew into Oblivion Ring. We do have an answer to Critter, and Jace can just bounce it when my untap happens. Unless it's like a Thrun. Thrun would just be like brutal, but I can't counter that anyway, so if she has that, like, it's just, hey, good beats, man. Because I am kind of relying on this Jace as my only threat. Tons of answers, not a lot of threats. Do you have like another way to Oblivion Ring this thing, or do you have like a Critter? I did look Tutor, probably. All right, so this is what I expect. I actually didn't know she had the Oblivion Ring. I figured she'd be getting it. She's probably getting Face Fetters or something like that here. This is a reveal card, right? It is. So we know this is gone. This is gone. This has been expensed. This is in hand. This is gone. Okay, so we know that she has whatever she reveals off this plus Academy Rector plus 2 unknowns. I guess it'd be like Face Fetters or something like that, but I mean, we can counter that. It's fine. And I'll probably just keep on topping her, I think. Grasp of Fate. Okay, well, it's the same kind of idea. So we're going to win this way, I think. Do I want to put this on the bottom? Yeah, I'll put it on the bottom. I don't really want to have my lands blown up. I kind of want to be able to cast 2 counter spells in a turn. And because I have Badlands out, which is not fixed for blue, she could mana screw me. To an extent. I guess I could still cast Remand. I could hunt for another land. Well, now any creature threat is an issue. So what we're going to do here is we'll cast the most difficult to cast one. This one right here. Oops. And I always mess up casting this card. There you go. No thank you, ma'am. So I have counter spells for days. Oh, it's the Enchantress deck. Okay. Well, Keswick Wolf Run obviously needs critters, and it needs red mana too, which is interesting why it's in the deck. Lots of answer to critters. No, I don't care about that. That's fine. Don't know about the Wasteland though. So I have 1 answer to critters, and I have still a bazillion counter spells, so I have a lot of time with Jace. I do need like what? 2 more turns essentially. It's a +2 to kill her. I mean, even then she could answer, but like with however, she's probably just gonna collect cards in her hand now. Land tax? No, I don't care. You can have that. That's garbage. Especially when you have like 2 lands that don't produce manas, but they're on the board anyways. And Keswick Wolf Run's kind of a non-bow with Enchantress and needs red mana. So looks like Jace is gonna go the distance. You probably just keep that in hand. This thing. We will do this. See if we can find some more counter magic. Yeah, I'll put it on top. I mean, I have a lot of counter magic. I don't want to let that thing happen because it will threaten Jace. It'll slow down my timetable for milling her out with Jace. Nope, don't care about that. That's cool. And plus, actually, it's a legit threat if she finds red mana. Actually, that Fertile Ground would have fixed her mana for it. So I believe with that card, you actually choose what color it makes when it comes into play. All right, well, if that's game, then that's game. Wish I could force her to draw cards at this point, just to end this a little faster, because I think this farce of a game is over. I don't mean that in a mean way, Michelle. Even if, I guess it does kind of sound mean. Never mind. That's kind of a mean thing to say. But it kind of is once Jace is in play and you can't threaten him. Like, when you're playing cards, like, I'm not even going to play this thing. I have 8 cards, 7. Okay, whatever. I'll just leave it in hand. The Gurmag Angler is frankly irrelevant here. I mean, it's not going to do anything on this board. And it's just going to get bounced back. It's going to just get bounced back off of the Mazavith and the Korhaven. So I guess at this point, maybe we do just... No, I'm not going to cast it. I mean, she knows it's in this deck. This is not a new deck to me. So looking for a land. Cool. Actually, pretty cool, actually. So let's put these two away. Don't really need them. We're just going to cast this thing out. Undermine can go away. Oh, that doesn't shock me. That's a very strong deck. Force Eat Blood is just a ridiculous deck. If you've never played against it or played with it, very powerful. I will lose to that deck too. More than likely. Yeah, it's a tough deck to beat, man. You know, you're not packing the best of the best against it. It's a tough matchup. Do I care about that? No, not at all. Go ahead and... I can't even get through, so go ahead and kill my critter. You know, it's fine. Like, I don't think you can win on 2 cards in deck. Just going to plus this thing, so I'm pretty much discarding anyway. No, I don't care. Actually, I can counter with Spell Snare. I ain't scared, man. I probably won't win, but I'm not scared. It's a fun... I enjoy this game. So... even if I lose... Oh, cool, manland. Well, not using the Jace. Whatever. Just draw your cards, man. Let's finish this game. I'm already at 17 minutes. Despite having a very early threat that was uncontested. Yeah, I tend to like interactive decks, so that's why I kind of came back to this. It's actually an extremely interactive deck. Alright, you're at 0 cards. Go ahead. Not going to attack. Now, unless you have a lab man. Oh, I revealed my hand. Oops. Well, you saw cards you probably already knew I had in my deck. This is not a new deck. I think there's some sideboard changes. Do I want anything in this matchup? Well, I can't really do much against... Flash Freeze may be good, because it gets green things. What do I think of that? Nah, let's just run it. Let's just jam it. Flash Freeze may be right. Don't really have a board against white-green enchantments. But I have a crap ton of counterspells, which this deck tends to be based around some very specific cards, like Enchantress's Presence, like Verduvian Enchantress, Grothian Enchantress, Mesa Enchantress. These are the cards it's based around, so it just accrues vast card advantage, but generally the cards are not that good. Like, it just gets a lot of them, and it beats you up on you. It's kind of like Gabos, you know, or like some other deck that like is a random aggro. Well, it's not an aggro deck, but like it's like Skull Clamp. It's like playing against Skull Clamp, except you're not dying as fast, so it's kind of worse. Obviously, Clamp not allowed in this format. If it was, Gabos would probably be up there. It's a very good deck. And actually, I think it is a fine deck. Really, it's just an extension of Red Deck Wins. It just has more creatures. Yeah, the board is really obviously devised against beating green-based decks, and that's about it. We only have like one card that's really good against the mirror, the control mirror, which is Bitter Blossom, because I tend to think that this deck needs all the help it can get against aggro, against white-based aggro, against red-based aggro, and then just generally against like green-based stuff, like fast green decks, like fast rampy decks that, you know, kind of get underneath the counter magic initially, like through turn 3 or turn 4, but then like I get to enough mana, I get to mana parity with them over enough time because they're going to run out of cards intrinsically because they're playing their ramp, which takes up a card slot. And once I acquire mana parity, you know, perish their board, then start countering their crap. After that, probably be around like 5 to 7 life, but they don't have reach, and then, you know, play it from there. That's kind of the idea behind the Nature's Rune and Perish. I mean, if you don't know what the cards do, they just blow up all the green stuff, all the green crits. Yeah, I think this is a pretty abysmal matchup for her. And I'm unfortunate I called this one. I was kind of hoping she'd be on like a crit-based deck and it'd be like a critter or creature-based deck, or planeswalker-based deck. So it'd be more of an interesting matchup because this is it's more of a gimmicky deck, and I think when we're playing counter magic, we're significantly advantaged. What do I think of this hand? Well, knowing now what she's on, I'm going to keep it. It's not good, but it has a threat. She doesn't have a lot of answers to threats. I don't have counter magic, but I have a Temple of Deceit on turn 1. Let's hope we can find like a Daze. Because if we can find a Daze and we can drop this Young Peasy on turn 2, then we can protect it with Daze, Serum Visions the next turn, and have 4 power on the board. That would probably be one of the more optimal finds, because that would allow me to play this hand down optimally, I think. Wouldn't be able to swing with 4 power until turn 4. We have Sylvan Tutor. Alright, well now we want to find an Edict effect. This is going to be an Argothian Enchantress. Yep. So maybe we don't go with the Temple. Oh, cool. Well, we'll just play this out. We're going to bottom that. It's a good card, but pretty far away from it. 6 mana with nothing in the graveyard and no instants in hand. Assume you take the damage here. Can't kill this on the first turn it comes into play. I think I am going to burn off the Serum Visions. Ooh, Prohibit. Hold the phone on that. We're just going to play this out, and we will ideally prohibit whatever she plays. If she plays a 2-drop, that's sweet. If she does not, well, then we got had, but hopefully it's a critter, and we're able to wipe the board. 2-drop, please, please? No? Come on, 2-drop? Sweet. Mastery of the Unseen. Well, that's a strong card, actually. And it's actually quite good against this deck, but we're definitely going to prohibit that. And I'm kind of glad we left it up as opposed to using the Serum Visions, because this card is one of those sorts of cards that over enough time, which this deck does not tend to kill fast, although it does have Peasy in hand, can win her the game quite easily. So we're going to cast this and just get rid of this thing. And then the plan is next turn, even though we have like all pain lands, we're going to go ahead and Toxic Deluge for 1. I doubt she has Pump in her deck, so she may have another like land enchantment. But if we can kill this thing, I mean, she's gotten 1 card off of it already, which stinks, but she's already on 4 because she mulled, I think, or I don't know. Yeah, she Sylvan Tutor is already automatically card disadvantage. All right, Canopy Vista. That's good to see. I didn't want her to cast like a 1 mana enchantment because that's just a beating. That's just one more card that we don't want her to have. That card looks stellar. If she doesn't play a land next turn, that can just be probably close to game. So, yes, I would. And I think the responsible play is just to do this and say good riddance to her. And we'll see what happens here. If she's out of land, we're definitely going to Pyromancer and Fall her hand to knock 2 random cards out of it. All right, she played land. I think I'm still probably going to do that depending on what she does here. Hopefully it's not like something great. Mesa Enchantress. Okay. Burn? Not burn. Well, I still think we fall her hand. All right, we got Thrun, and we saw another land. Okay. Well, Thrun's a good one to get out of there, because he would have been a beating. Rar. Oh, I mind caps. She got the lands. All right, what do we got here? What have we got? Something bad? Oh, what do we got? A Wrath of God? I don't think that would be good. So I've got Factor Fiction to kind of recover from my initial expenditure of cards. And we actually have a clock. All right, Luminarch Ascension. I do not see that becoming great anytime soon, but that's a strong card. Especially if she can like render a state of the game where I cannot attack, which would be like a mode or something like that, but I can find a flyer. I do have to deal with this Enchantress at some point in time, so maybe I just Serum Visions first. Ooh, she's got all the good ones. Yeah, so any enchantment she's drawing now is drawing her just a bazillion cards. All right, I think I am going to go with this first. And we'll get in there for 3. And we'll allow her to play her turn out to inform our decision making on Fact or Fiction. I don't think she can counter. Although she may have like maybe an Armageddon here. All right, well Sterling Grove is pretty good. That Enchanted Creatures as well? No, it's not. But she's gonna get to draw a lot of cards, and she could get like what's that card called? The Sigil of the Empty Throne. So this hand was very good. This hand and draw have been very strong. Like Argothian Enchantress into Mason Enchantress into Enchantress Presence into Sterling Grove. Luminarch Ascension junk. Thrun is kind of just like a board card, I would assume, that she's brought in here. But my guess is she's going to start going pretty deep on cards. She's drawing 2 for every enchantment she plays. And this depends on how all in she is on enchantments here. We have a lot of mana up, though, so she has to be leery of that. She could... I think she probably has to assume we can counter at this point in time with 3 cards and not having only cast 1 counter so far. Okay, Oath of Nisa. Drawing 2. Not good. Although this is only Planeswalker or land card, so what's the best land card she could get? Is probably, what's that card called? Seer Sanctuary, whatever the enchantment-based land is that makes white mana for it, or for each enchantment you have. So what does she find? Does this reveal all of the cards or reveal 1? Creature, land, or Planeswalker. Okay. Well, what do you find? Forest card. Okay, this is on play. This is dead. You have 1 forest in hand. And what is your last card? Oh, Commune with the Gods. Cool. I would assume Overgrowth? I don't know. What goes to the graveyard? Oh, she keeps Abundant Growth, so she can cast it this turn. Makes sense. She's at 1 forest at a minimum, plus 2 more cards here. Well, I think we're going to get outcarded here. That looks like it is bound to happen. This draw also draws a card, but it just makes a random mana. So you haven't stopped our ability to attack. If she has a Moten deck, though, she could use that to get us here. So I think first things first, we definitely are doing this right now. And we need to hurry up. Liliana seems great. Logic Knot also seems very good. All these cards seem great, especially with the amount of mana we're on. I think any one of them is pretty strong here. Liliana on her own. I actually don't think Liliana... If Liliana went on her own, I'd take all the rest of the cards. And terminate. Kolaghan's Command's good enough, so... Take the bigger pile. Knock this thing out of the way. I do like having the Logic Knot because it means that, I mean, she can discard a land. I mean, the discard's kind of irrelevant here. I just really want to get this thing out of the way because it's just a card advantage engine. Mace's Enchantress's Presence is obviously still as well. But, hey, I'm going to hold on the Brainstorm. I'm also going to hold on the True Name Nemesis because I kind of want to use that to get the last few points in. And I don't think I want to put Logic Knot down because she still has the Sterling Grove, which could get like a Humility. Well, Humility's not even great here. Or a Moat, which would be pretty brutal. So I want to have the counter magic up the same turn I cast that thing. I also have the Brainstorm to kind of set that up as well. Is she dead next turn? Very close. I mean, if she casts any spell and she doesn't have a Wrath of God, if she casts anything relevant that I have to counter, I'll counter it. But this is a problem too. She has 7 cards. I have 4. She has many more outs to drawing more cards than me. But I don't think each of her individual cards are as good as mine are, which is the problem I think is inherent with this deck. Is there's just not enough relevant cards to make this strategy work. Even though you can draw a boatload of them, it's just not fast enough. Is this Rune of Protection a red? Let's look at what there is out there. We could also just tie up our mana. Okie doke. Do I care about this? Well, let's let this resolve. She can wrath my board. I think I actually allow this to happen. She's still going to take 1. I still have the true name. Yeah, I'm almost positive I allow that to happen. On 6 cards, like, what are the chances she has, like, a Motor or Wrath of God? Which is by far worse for me, so I don't have a flying threat. And I really just want to get to an untap. So I think this is fine because she needs to... She has 1, 2, 3... She has enough mana to operate this thing to stop 5 of the 7 damage that I can present. So I'm not going to counter that. I'm gonna wait. Like, I need to be patient, I think, because she's had a lot of cards. So it just doesn't make sense to me to overextend here. So we'll force her to tap out here. And this is fine because she's still going to take 1. And then I can play the True Name Nemesis. Yep. And she's still taking 1, so the Luminarch Ascension is not going to stop me here. Yep. And actually, let's do this when she does it again. Always yield to this thing, because I'm not going to stop that. Once an enchantment's in play, I can't really deal with it, so that's kind of why I didn't want to... I don't have like a... I didn't want to do that and then end up hitting a Moat or a Wrath effect, because I kind of do want these threats to stick around. Now, a land would have been really nice. I think we just played the TNN here, though. So he goes down to 7. All right, that's 1 damage. And here's a true name. You are the person I want to have issues with this card. And then I still have up the Logic Knot. I know I'm putting down the Mystic Confluence here, but I can't cast it plus the Logic Knot. If I could cast it plus the Logic Knot, I think I'd leave both of those up. And I don't know my next card, actually. Or do I? I have to think back. I think Baleful Strix is the last card I knew off the Brainstorm I did 2 turns ago. Yeah, that's all I could know, because I put 2 back on top. Well, what have you got? Rest in Peace. Well, Logic Knot is obviously a little bit worse there, but if she has... it's actually quite strong. She could have, like, Wrath of God here. That's a beating. That's a pretty big beating. All right, we'll draw your card. I'm not going to counter this. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So you got it. That you got. And if you have Wrath plus you just drew that, I think you top deck that. Because I think you play that last turn. Well, no, she may not have a Wrath. Why would she play Rune but not play Rest in Peace? Because I think she drew Rest in Peace either off one of the triggers that occurred or possibly for this turn. Because I feel like she has a Wrath. Notably, she's out of mana, though. So if she has a Wrath, I can do it for 1. So it'd have to be a 5-mana Wrath for me to stop it. Like a 2-mana or a 4-mana Wrath, I could not stop. So let's hope she does not, because I kind of don't want to lose my attack squad. That'll put a counter on her Luminarch Ascension. So Logic Knot is essentially a blank. Yuck. Yeah, if she has Literal Log or Day of Judgment, we're going to lose all this crap. And I really hope she doesn't, but the amount of time she's considering here makes me think she might. I don't think she has Sigil of the Empty Throne, and if she does, she's not going to cast it out into an obvious Logic Knot, which would give the card that just lost a ton of value a significant amount of it. So Wrath of God? Oh, Face Fetters. All right, well, you can Face Fetters that thing and gain 4 life, but that's not actually all that relevant. I can actually bounce it if I wanted to. So next turn, we're definitely leaving up the Mystic Confluence. I shouldn't F6. just in case she has, like, I don't know what, porphyry nodes. She would have cast. She would have probably cast that because that's the larger or highest toughness or highest power. So it would have still gotten the true name. I don't think it's target. I think it's just you choose. That's right. We did know about this card. We're not going to cast that. We'll cast it on her end step and just leave up the Mystic Confluence. I think that's for the best here. The good thing is she did this, but she actually still loses the 4 life because her own card, Rune of Protection, can only stop one of these. She's still losing 4, taking 3, and taking 7 damage essentially this turn. She's really close to dead. Like I could just electrolyze her and put her down to like what 2? 2 here, yeah, it's 2. I mean, like if the psychic play would be like, oh, I know my top land is if I knew my top card was land, I would Baleful Strix into it so I could keep up the Mystic Confluence. If I knew my top card was like Lightning Bolt or any of my like small burn spells, I would most certainly. All right, well now if she takes a damage from a fetch land, she just dies. So just leave all her mana up unless she has a Wrath. But even then, this is a dubious position because I can just draw 3 cards on her end step if she has nothing relevant and find some burn and just win. Seems good. Seems pretty good. I almost wish the Thing of Ice was on board though, because like the Rune of Protection, like now is just gonna blank a lot of my stuff, and it'd be nice to have it for like Wrath Protection, you know, because I can just flip everything back and just have that thing get blown up. Because I tend to think True Name Nemesis and Pyromancer are probably better than it. It's just a singular threat, and she's shown us that she has Maze of Ith and Korhaven in deck. We have watching. Oh, Rob was watching. Evidently not anymore. Did she play Wrath or Armageddon? She's running Flagstones. Maybe it's just proofing. Armageddon proofing against the weenie decks. It could be that. Well, she's dead to True Name Nemesis. So, you know, deal with it. He also very much so failed to find a land. Heliod's Pilgrim. You may search for an aura card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. Okay. Well, if there's some busted aura, like, if it's like a, well, actually, that doesn't even do it. If it's like Patterns of Rebirth, I can just burn this thing off. That's fine. Like, what aura do you get here? I don't even know. Is there a way to cheat like Eldrazi Conscription plus have the haste for this thing in blue and green white? No, I think this is game. I think this is game over. I think the Rest in Peace was actually ill-timed. Like, so if you have that card, you wait until you can Wrath, but I guess maybe she had to because you could still. What doesn't do it? Because I'm just gonna attack with the True Name. Here. Okie doke. Yeah, it's fine. And she could try to attack with it this turn to gain the life, but then you're just dead too. All I gotta do is attack with the True Name Nemesis. That's it. So if you fire this thing up, I'll just bounce it, because this is 2 mana to activate. I'll bounce it, plus I guess just bounce it and draw 2 cards. Yeah, I don't think it's viable for her to win from this point. If I do that, I'll probably leave up the red-blue land to leave up the most spells. I think I have the most singular. I guess Fatal Push would be a thing then, but like I don't need to Fatal Push the Heliod's Pilgrim. I think it's better to have like a Spell Pierce up or a Bolt just to win on the spot. Okay. This still doesn't do it though. I'm gonna wait for it to be tapped to prevent the most shenanigans. I don't think she's running like Momentary Blink, and nor would that do her any good here. So I think we leave up the Steam Vents and just go for the Gusto here. And we're going to cast this. Return target creature to its owner's hand and draw a card. And we'll return this land. And you can recast it, but... Okay, do you have a way to stop this? May have a Path to Exile. Path to Exile our own thing. Oh, do you have Hexproof? Okay. Well, you're still quite dead. That's cool. You had Guttural Response. And we'll take 2. And you are probably in the dead zone. Still at 2. Um, yeah, for trolls. Why not? Good games. Logic Knot was actually quite dead. Force Spike. That is a card that I use on her quite regularly. I enjoy that card. All right, and I would make the assumption that we are the last players playing. If we're not, there are some other horrendous control decks like my own. We're not. All right, so we're at a game 3. Actually, that was a game 2. So if we'd gone to game 3, it would have been much longer. That's probably why. Peregrine Drake plus Extra Planar Lens. This looks sweet. Oh, this is like probably a high tide storm deck, like Brain Freeze. Pretty sweet. Although one of the better cards you could run, that's pretty sweet. One of the better cards you could run in it is actually legal, which is let me think, guys. Mind's Desire. I should know that. I was actually playing it earlier today. So his lands all make just a metric, excuse the language, shit ton of mana. Probably playing a bunch of untap effects, but needs to draw. Oh, copy the enchanted instant card. He may. Oh, it's not an instant. All right. Whatever. Copy the enchanted instant card. What instant did he actually target with this? Could be Snap to keep on going. Could be Cryptic Command. Is he dying right now? It's not a weak deck. I don't know. It's probably a tier 1.5 deck. I disagree. When something's bad against red deck wins, it tends not to be tier 1, I don't think. Well, this game may go to time, too. I don't think it's a bad deck. It never does well for me. I think I'd play it decent, but I don't know. Maybe I suck at playing it. Encourage you all to register 10 minutes for events. Yeah, this was a kind of a slow start. We'll agree. Starting a half hour late is not acceptable for the future. Okay, I'll take a food break. See you later. Well, it says that on the instructions because it's a summer cycle, man. It probably needs to change the text in there. We'll do it next time. Yeah, no problem, buddy. You're good, man. You're new to the format. Like, I don't think we should penalize you. I just, what did he guys? Snap. Yeah. He's gonna snap the Peregrine Drake back more than likely. Is he dead though? Peregrine Drake untapping, not dead. Thespian Stage could set up at flies though, so he could block it. He's got 16 power and zombies. Could just recast the Rise, or could go infinite with a High Tide. But if he had High Tide, he would have already cast it. Extra Planar Lens is basically the same thing. Helm of Awakening, pretty sweet. A Time Reversal. Okay, well, you also lose your Spellweaver Volute, or Volute. Yeah, I don't know how to say that word. Volute. Oh, he's copying Cryptic Command now. Oh, I think that deck's actually pretty good against green, and the board is what we really bring in against green. We bring in Nature's Ruin. Don't have that card in the board, although it is a cool one. It's too bad I'm going to play untapped because then you can just like get a Crater Hoof, a Behemoth. Here, what I'll likely get is the I gotta think. I could see him. Oh, actually, I'll probably get Woodfall Primus to blow up the Thespian stage to stop the Dark Depths combo. Yeah, Woodfall Primus is a dead card. I'm gonna let this play, guys. I have to use the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. Woodfall Primus should be the card he gets, though. That'll stop crop rotation from making a 2020 Merit Lage token that he can't currently block, at least. Yeah, there we go. So he eventually got to that. I don't know if he's unless he's in a timeout. Hopefully this is game 3. Actually, I should report results. Actually, almost forgot. So I think we went 2-0 in that. If we did not, Michelle, I'm sorry. I think I went 2-0 in that. I'm honestly not trolling. Like, I sometimes forget records. It could have been 1 or 2-1. I know we won, but I think it was a 2-0. Especially when they're longer games like that. Oh, what's effing terrible? Although, wow, that's savage. And actually, if the Woodfall Primus dies, he gets it back. Oh, oh yeah. All right, well, he's flipping a Nisa, a Vastwood Seer. Wouldn't be shocked if he actually makes sure. Um, Yep, Sock wins. Not enough time to finish this game. Um, Vernal Bloom. Yeah, just tons of mana. It had the tsunami, which is a horrific beating. That it does. That card has a big old butt on it. Sir Mix-a-Lot would approve, that's for sure. We're going to game 3 with a collective 5 minutes on the clock for both players, just about. Someone's going to probably time out. Could be a lot of F6ing here. And I think Socknalis can win in 3 minutes. Doc Pringle is going to be challenged to do so, I believe. Volcanic Island. Don't know why it's in the deck. Looks like it's kind of just bait for Wasteland to me. He may have some red cards in there that he's splashing. I don't know. Fauna Shaman. Counter. That's a problem with these decks, though. It's just like you're fetching twice, which is going to eat up a bunch of clock. Probably taking 2 here. It's fine, though. The life doesn't matter until he's got a critical mass. Remand it. Cool. But you really got to win fast here. Piece of the puzzle is not winning fast. That's winning slow. 5 cards into the reveal zone. This is sorcery and instant, right? So, well, he got 2. Missed a Jace, but Jace is not going to be that great in this matchup, I don't think. You really want Wrath effects. Black is the card that allows you to beat Forest. Hall of Gemstones, I don't think is per se horrendous here. It obviously stops the Ignite Memories, but excuse me. But blue is his relevant color, so well, leaving up counter magic, but at 2 minutes flat. Oh, choke. That's horrific. Oh, was this a cryptic command? Oh, he can't. Yeah, you can't counter it, dude. So, yep. Yeah, that's why Hall of Gemstones is a horrendous beating. So his only hope is to get the combo in hand, have a way to untap his lands like Peregrine Drake, plus go into a High Tide turn and hopefully win. Although he does have Sucknellis down to 24 seconds. He may just time out here if he's not careful. Yeah, that's game. I don't think he can win in 10 seconds. All right, well, I guess that's what happens. Sorry, we're talking a little bit of shit here. Sorry about that, guys. I don't mean to talk crap. All right, so we got Michelle out of the way. Who do we have next? Probably Dots would be my guess. Called shot Dots. Alrighty, well, yeah, we'll go on a quick pause, guys. All right, we called it again, guys. We're playing versus Dots, so it should be a good game. Of note, I don't think this deck has a good matchup versus this other deck we're going to play right here, but we'll see. All right, guys, looks like we are live. And we got the play. Keep, lead off with our tap land, and go. And then, depends on what he plays. If he plays a turn 1 Mana Dork, we're likely to leave up Counterspell. If he does not, we've got to be leery of Voice of Resurgence. That card is a beating. He could just Wasteland us. I'm fine with that, though, because I have a ton of land in hand, and I can eventually Mana Screw him with my own Wasteland. Alright, we have a turn 1 Mana Dork. Cool. So now, maybe the right play actually was to play the Thing in the Ice out, but he has a lot of good threes. Like Liliana of the Veil just like wrecks us. So, and he has black mana already. So I think I'm going to leave up Counterspell and then play into the Dissolve next turn. I think I'm going to slow roll the Wasteland here because I kind of want to see what he's up to. I want to see what his mana base is going to develop into. Ooh, interesting. All right, well, if he's playing a Mana Dork here, yeah, this is going bye-bye. Like, that's just not happening, dude. Like, I don't want to let you have mana. I could counter the next spell, but fetch land is just a beating. That's like 3 mana into a Liliana. Okay, yep. Could be another mana dork, or could be a discard spell. If it's a discard spell, that makes my next turn's decision a lot easier depending on what I draw. Although I couldn't wasteland him and limit him in his development. This is a fetch land, so he's got green already. I think for now, we're just gonna play out the river and leave up the Dissolve and hope to draw removal into Wasteland next turn. 1 mana removal into Wasteland with Thing in the Ice on the board. We'll get his white mana, white-black mana. That's what he grabbed. So I make the assumption that he probably has a Johnny, Gideon, or Elsbeth in hand. Now, he can't force us to discard plus cast that this turn. This would be a secondary fetch. My guess would be it's going to be red-green. Taiga is my... Oh, wait, no, he can't do that. Probably Plateau. Yeah, okay. He wants red mana. He wants double white or red-white. So it's Johnny, Gideon, or Elsbeth is the card he's got, but he's not going to play it right now. Maybe he will. The Siege a Rhino. Well, I'm gonna get this and hope to mise something strong on top. That's actually very good. So I'm actually not going to Wasteland in this turn because what I want to do is this. What I'd like to do is leave up Remand. Now Wasteland is a beating. Wasteland into Planeswalker is a beating here. That's the worst case. I got to remand into something good. I kind of hope to remand into removal so I can get rid of this elf and then Wasteland him and cut him off of probably his red mana. Because I think he has a Johnny. He would have fetched for Plateau regardless if he has a Johnny or not. He has like 3 fetch lands in a row. It's pretty strong. Okay, well, that's going to get remanded. I'm actually going to... Well, unfortunately, I think we're going to lose this Thing in the Ice. We may not. Let's get his white-black. I want to take him off double white. I think that is going to be relevant. This means that I cannot burst lightning for 2 or for 4, which if he forces me to discard would have been necessary. Okay. Well, if he's going to get Bayou here, or Overgrown Tomb is what he'll get. And then we're bound to lose our Thing in the Ice, but he'll lose his Liliana. Unless he makes me discard. He makes me discard. I obviously discard the Sunken Ruins. Hope to draw into probably a burn spell of some sort. And do as much damage as I can. Flip this thing in the ice. Probably blow up his Liliana with the Burst Lightnings. Let's see what he gets up to, though. I can't stop Lily here. I cannot do it. Done 5 cards to my 2. But his mana is a little more restricted. Wow. All these fetch lands are just going to kick our ass. I'm just going to burn this in response because he can't exile my land. Obviously, you would never want to do this if you had another non-land card in hand. He could think we're screwing up. We're not. It's fine. Like, he can't exile our land, but he also can't cast his Liliana this turn. Ooh. Well, so now let's see what his draw is. So now he can't Lily me. So Lily may just stay in hand. If you want to cast that thing, you can do a bunch of damage to me, but if I draw any spell kills his Nissa. And I get to keep the... So I'll have to take 5 this turn. But it's obviously a much more risky play. So I take 2 damage down to 15, which is not irrelevant because that puts him on a 2-turn clock if I decide to go to face, but I'll likely just kill the Nissa if he just pumps it. But the problem he runs into is if he puts a 5/5 into play and just leaves it back, if I can cast any spell, like Ponder, anything that's castable. Well, did you draw into removal? That'd be god-awful. Okie doke. Yep. I mean, I gotta run this thing, right? Burn, Counter Squall. That is not good. He'll just force us to discard before this thing comes into play, or before I can cast this, to counter his Nissa. And I have to attack the yep. Pretty much like anything. This would have certainly been a better draw than D-Click before, but obviously that's not how it played out. He loses a Sand Steep, which means that he can still go into Nissa this turn. He had to fetch with his 2 lands. We are forcing him to play it, though. His mana has been great this game so far, which is the most problematic component of this deck. It's not bad. I'm not saying the deck's mana base is bad. It's actually very good. Played a decent bit with the deck myself. But it can present problems, and it has not so far this game. Actually, discarded a great card. Sandstep Citadel is probably one of the worst lands in the deck. It's great fixing. It's fine turn 1 if you don't have a mana dork, but outside of that, it's a pretty garbage draw. So he has Nissa and X in hand. If he has removal, he may just cast that here. We're boxed into killing the Liliana. Yeah, if you do removal, the game's probably over. Okay, so you can return a permanent. He could do that. My guess is he does not, though. He may. He's got a lot of lands. He doesn't need this many. He can afford to give up 1 land to block the thing in the ice on the turn after this. Once it flips, obviously it's a problem. If we draw a land, we're in trouble. All right, so he did take a card. He got Siege Rhino back, which is a big life swing. Well, now we're just going to lose. Well, good game. that's the end of the game, guys. Unfortunately, yeah, we missed. We missed for 2 draw steps. Just didn't, 3 really, because Vendilion Click wasn't a spell either. And now we're gonna lose for it, which sucks. But he'll just Siege Rhino, Liliana, and then win the game. He'll attack for 5, drain 3. That's game. I don't think we can come back from that. Yep. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what our top deck is, but I don't have much faith that this is beatable from this point. But it could be. So the initial strike in for 5, we lose 3 down to 12. Down to 12, and depending on what he has in hand, very close to dead the following turn. Yeah, we really needed to hit. Well, there it is. Well, let's see what we can do. Oops. Well, yeah, this is an unfortunate circumstance of bad draws. Well, this only makes blue. Well, I guess we're taking 2. Mistap. Not that it matters. Having those 2 cards in any given different sequence there would have vastly changed this game. Probably made it so we could win it. Probably would have made it so we did win it. But you'd have him on a 2-turn clock and would have killed both of his planeswalkers. And then he draws like nonsense like Land Warehouse is fine. Just block it of the Abyss, essentially. So, all right, we're just dead here. Bottom and concede. All right, so series of unfortunate draws. After getting the thing in the ice, very close to a position of lethal. Obviously forced into casting our burst lightning earlier than we had wanted to. Here, I do think that flash freeze is actually okay. Question is, do I like Whip Flare or Pyroclasm against all the mana dorks? I feel like I have to kill them faster than that. Could be wrong on that. I may try one. I think the Planeswalker is the most relevant component of this game. Maybe Bitter Blossom is good enough in this just to fight the Planeswalkers and whatnot. I do like Dark Confidant a bit less. I do think I like this a little more. No, let's just go with this. I don't think we want the Bob in there. He's definitely going to have Bob, but I don't think I can play that card in this matchup. His deck is definitely the aggressor, unless we find ourselves in a very unique situation. But he's definitely the aggressive deck. I am not. I need to probably play control. I mean, obviously the game shifts at some point to a point where I just need to close it out. His deck's going to get a lot better. You know, maybe I want like Flash Flood or something. Boil is going to be a problem. Boil is an instant. Do I want Dispel? Boil is such a problem. I have the discard though. I have Duress. I have Inquisition doesn't get it. Spell Pierce can get it. Force Spike maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be tight, guys. We got to play tight and obviously get a little lucky. This last game, I think we were a little unfortunate to draw 2 cards that we were unable to cast. But there's a lot of counter spells in the deck, so I mean that was a risk that we ran with how we played that. I don't think we could have played it any differently, though. I think we played it to our best ounce. And as you saw, I mean, if we had drawn like the Dismember or and actually Dismember would have been fine there because it would have made our critter smaller, but it still would have killed one of the Planeswalkers because it would have flipped in response to casting it. Or the Electrolyze for any of the 3 cards on top of them, then I think we were in a position to win. This hand is great, so we're going to keep this. It obviously wants to hit land very badly. The big question is, I think we actually Portent turn 1. No, that can't be right. depending on what his turn 1 play is, we're either going to leave up. If it's a black-based mana and he doesn't cast anything, then we'll probably leave up Counter Squall to fight off him to Turek. If he plays a Mana Dork turn 1, we're very likely to Portent because we're really going to want to draw into another mana so we can Liliana the Veil him. Alright, so it's a Mana Dork. Cool. Alright, 6 cards. 1 counter off. I don't think we can afford to leave up. Alright, we're going to get risky here. We're going to Portent ourselves. Daze is good. This on bottom, this second, this first. Nope. So we're not going to be able to cast Liliana whether we want to or not next turn. But we can set up a Gurmag Angler quite nicely. Oh shit. That's a big problem. Not what I want to see. Well, we're probably just losing now. Oh. Maybe we should have just cast the Daze. No, I can't be right. Yeah, and there's going to be some matchups I guess we're just not going to win. Especially when he has that and he's the aggro deck, and I really can't force his hand at this point in the game. Ugh. Well, yeah. Just going to blow up lands. Interesting. Okay. I think we draw this turn, actually. No, next turn. Well, we know we have a Gurmag Angler, so I think we're just going to do this. He can play around this regardless, so let's just see if we can get him to discard here. Fall him. We have Daze, so if he decides to try to cast something. So we get Dark Tutelage and an Avacyn's Pilgrim. So that was at least something. And if he opts to go for the Dwarven Miner, well, that's rough. We're not very favored in this, though. I'm going to counter this, because I don't want him to cast multiple spells in a turn. I want him to keep on using up his mana to Dwarven Miner us. Looks like he has the mana, though. I could have saved that, but he's going to blow that land up anyway, so... Well, this can at least get a swamp. Could have Inquisitioned him there, but I think we need to present a threat, even though he's likely to have an answer in 3 cards, plus, well, 2 cards plus a draw. And he has the Hissing Quagmire. So this at least slows his roll a bit. I don't think we can win this, though. Is this Marchesa? Oh, Bloodbraid. Well, that's also horrendous. Terminate? Lightning Helix, okay. Well, that means he can attack with his Bloodbraid if he wants to shoot the Gurmag. Otherwise, he's hanging back. We can get his last card. But this isn't going to deal with my face, okay. Cool. So now I need to find an answer to... Oh, Burton Forge Tender. We're at 8 cards, so we're going to be discarding regardless. Okay. Well, discard's worthless here. I guess I could have discarded the discard. I'm really looking for a kill spell of any variety. Go for the throat, whatever. I need to start building up my mana base. This Dwarven Miner is just going to own me. And it's kind of a shit way to lose the game, but it's in his board for a reason, and it does this quite well, especially when I'm not able to present threats in the same timetable he is. I really can't attack. He's going to hit me back for more. I'm at 13, he's 22 life. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Okay, so what have you got? Probably something I don't want to see. No, you're just going to activate the Hissing Quagmire? That's fine. You can get in for 2. I mean, if I had Fatal Push, I would have killed your Miner. I'm sure you probably thought through that. Well, again, at 8 cards, but I think I just discarded the Inquisition here. I think I want to save. Save my lands. I'm not going to be able to use this Counter Squall. Well, did you draw something relevant? No? Okay. Well, Dwarven Miner is winning this game pretty much single-handedly, because I think if we'd been able to develop our mana base adequately, we wouldn't be in this position. Yeah, that does nothing. We'll discard the him. I can't really attack, realistically, so discard him to Turek. Yeah, just Finhorn Elves into turn 2. I couldn't have countered it then anyways, though, because he was on the play. Oh, is he on the play? No, he's on the draw. So take 2, down to 7, and his next turn on lethal, all in attack. Not quite. Unless he has, like, a burn spell of some sort. I mean, I could block this thing, but it's just like, that's garbage. So what do we really need here? I don't even know. Don't even know, guys. You have, now you wouldn't have Path to Exile. You have like another creature card. A Luxodon Smiter. Well. And another one bites the dust here, it looks like. Okay, well, that's a fetch land. That means I could play Liliana, ostensibly. So now an all-in attack is lethal. This is 5 plus 2. Yep, good game. Good games, buddy. Not really much of a game, unfortunately. You know, had the draw, and we were not able to react in time to the Dwarven Miner. I think if this hand had more time, I think this was a keepable hand. I don't think it accounted for Dwarven Miner, but our draws to getting rid of a Dwarven Miner are pretty high as well. And if it had been like any other creature, you know, we can generally deal with that with Liliana the Veil. He's got a lethal all in attack. I can't react to it. If I could kill any creatures, I would have already killed the Dwarven Miner a long time ago. So I think if he's smart, he attacks with everything and just kills us. Plus, I'm giving him the good games. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, no, like I told you, Michelle, I was pretty sure I was losing this matchup. I don't think this is a favorable matchup for Grixis. But I think this deck's good. I think 4-color blood is like the best deck. Interesting. All right, well, he probably has Lightning Helix. Is that the card? I can't fetch anymore because this is actually not lethal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep, you got it. And it sucks because I mean, like when you know the plays, like it's just like, okay. Can we do anything here? Nope. Just dead. I can fetch into removal, I suppose, but that would force me to kill the Bloodbraid or the Hissing Quagmire. Draw a card? No, nothing useful. And we lose. But I think that's what the best deck in the format. And, you know, it's obviously any player's choice to jam whatever deck they want to jam, but you jam the same best deck every single time, you're going to win. You know, and good on you. That's what you want to do. You'll win. I think I've jammed it 3 times. I've had one horrendous result with it, but every other time I've gone 3-0. Like, it's just, it's too easy to win with that deck. It's very good against a wide meta, and it's very aggressive, so it ends games fast. But it's, honestly, I don't think there's no elegance to its play, in my opinion. I haven't found it to be a very elegant deck. So I don't really enjoy playing it. So there's that. White deck versus blue deck, I would assume. All right, they're in boards. Let's see what else is going on. All right. And I'm not trying to talk shit on Dots by any means. I hope that doesn't come off that way. I just think that deck's it's kind of just like, okay, cool, dude. You know, but you're basically jamming all the best spells. There are certain things you just lose to, but jamming all the best planeswalkers, all the best creatures, and all the best removal. And it's a pretty good recipe for a very good deck. It's essentially like playing like the best draft deck at a table. Because a lot of these I think do play out like high powered draft decks, like Cube, basically. All right, Mox is Diamond going into what 5 or 6 drop here. Chandra's already been what counterspelled or discarded? What happened there? Did he just throw that away? Oi. Why would you do that? Fatal Push? Oh, he needed it to cast his Tombstalker. Okay, well, if he gets Wrath of God here, still can attack with Shaman. And actually, the Celestial Colonnade could just block the Shaman, and then the Tombstalker is inert because of the Maze of Ith. And actually, I think that'd be a smart play by Shug, unless he really wants that as a closer in the game. But he's already got the other man land, so why would you need the Colonnade? I guess they would put him on 1 blue mana, so it would turn off Jace the Mind Sculptor. So this is a Planeswalker deck if you're not familiar with it. Blows up the Stalker. Interesting. I think it's a waste of a card, to be frank. You're my best matchup. Is he? Maybe. I don't know. Is the game over? Actually, we didn't report results, did we? Oh, we did. Okay. I think. Did we say? Hopefully, we said the right thing. I think we said 0-2. We were definitely 0-2 in that matchup because that deck just munches on Grixis. It was a horrendous matchup. Let's check this one out. Well, Flamewake Phoenix is actually pretty cool. And actually, Figure of Destiny is a beating. If he has another land and he can pump it into, well, I guess he can't do it to a 4/4 this turn, but if he could like get land at some point. And actually, Ancient Tomb is bound to do quite a bit of damage for him. All right, Gorehouse, cool. So I don't think his last card is Mountain. What is his last card? Maybe it's Mountain. This Flame Lake Phoenix is actually pretty cool. And actually, Figure works fine with it. Get in 4, put him down to 8. Oh, I think this is a 4-2. It's only a 2-2. Less good. There's a 3-mana one that does something similar, but is like a 4-2. Votes for Homage. Although this Ancient Tomb sucks. The Ancient Tomb is really not very good here. Like, he really, even though he's only one card, but I mean, like, he's got a 4-4 and a 3-2. You block the 4-4 next turn, take 5 down to 3, so he taps this, he's down to 1, and then it's dead the next turn. Sun Droplet helps ameliorate that to some extent. Alright, Dark Depths, worthless land. So he's drawing kind of dead. Which is a problem with the green deck. It's like playing stacks, man. You play stacks long enough, you know, it's a top deck driven deck. It has cards like Coercive Portal, but it can just miss heavily. It doesn't really have a lot of library manipulation or decision making outside of sequencing. It's a more variance laden deck, in my opinion. It could be saying stuff that folks can definitely disagree with. All right, he has the land. If you have one more land, because if you have one more land, you can make this figure just size massive. If you had an 8/8 flyer, game's over. Yep. Well, unless you have a burn spell in hand, you probably don't all in attack. And if you do, if you have like, what is it, Flame Blast, or LB, does that do it here? So he blocks the 4/4, takes 5 down. Yeah, it does. LB, any 3 damage burn spells has attack every turn. That sucks. I mean, I guess it just does nothing. Because this gains 1 life on Sock's upkeep and then 1 life on Scrib's upkeep. Okay, I can get behind that. It's not going to block. So why not trade it and turn it into a 3/3? That's fine. I mean, next turn, if he has another land, like, this thing is getting huge. And it flies, which is problematic. This should be White Weenie versus what? Mono Blue, yeah, that's right. Oh, Thalia? That doesn't seem good for him. Vote for Homage. I don't think Carnage would be more appropriate here, but... Alright, Courser. It's more life. But if he has 1 land, you're just dead. Yep. 1 land wins the game. What do you have? Why would you attack here? Like, how can that make any sense? What could he have? Invigorate? Because he can double block the figure if he doesn't have the land. Land? You have it? I kind of want to see Scrib win this. Kind of root for him. Newcomer to the Chainsaw Massacre. Well, do you have it? I think, out of respect for Red, he's got to block you here. Sin Prodder? There you go. You attack with both. Just get in there. You get in there with both. Definitely attack with the figure too. Your life total, oh no, your life total is irrelevant. Make it so that he can't recover all the life in a turn cycle. Why he attacked there is beyond me though. Like, maybe he has Invigorate? That doesn't seem good though. It could be in his deck, I guess. But on like all colorless mana, Invigorate's the only card I can think of that does it. Or like Mutagenic Growth. But like taking 2 that's not going to get recovered seems bad to me. Okay, so drew a Woodfall Primus. Uncastable. I mean, still, any given point in time, 1 land, game over. Obviously not going to be able to give him land off. Oh, maybe Sempre. Well, yeah, it's always going to be Homage. I don't think anyone wants their board destroyed here, especially the red deck wins player, because he's only got 1 card in hand, and his opponent's 9 life, so he's going to need this board. Assume we're going to see the Master come down here. He could tap the Ancient Tomb for... Does that work? No, it's 7. He needs 8 mana. So the Dark Depths is an inert card. Vernal Bloom. Okay, so he has a ton of mana next turn that he can use. But still, any 1 land is game. In the Simprotter, so if the figure and the Simprotter both attack, because the Simprotter has Menace, he'll either have to double block the Simprotter or single block the figure and let the Simprotter through, or double block the Simprotter. Rakdos Cackler, you probably give him that. It's not extremely relevant here. Although going wide is going to at some point make a difference. Plus, if it's drawing him past that into land, like land is his best draw right now, which is odd to say with a red deck wins deck, but land is best draw because he wants to make this figure size 8/8, attack in for 10, win the game. Because that is game over. The next turn, Saknalis can draw a billion cards with Harmonize, likely drop another forest, and it's making double mana. I mean, the ideal way to play this would be to tap 1 forest and the Ancient Tomb to draw the cards, and then use the remainder to make 6 mana plus 1 plus an additional land off these 3. So you'll probably hit 1 at least, or find 1 off Courser after you draw to cast out the Woodfall Primus. All right, well, he's not going to find it. You attack with all of them, man. Oh, I feel like this game is like so within reach because he just double blocks here, loses the Beast token, I suppose. Yeah, you have to block with both. Yeah, you got to block with both, man. And then you lose the Beast token. Make sure you rearrange him, Scrib. Yeah, you got to block with both here. Like, I feel like this is a missed opportunity. At least he does him the good grace of putting the Beast first, because that's obviously what you want to damage here. Unless he has like some sort of pump spell or something like that where he can kill both, but I don't think that's likely. What would that be, like Reckless Charge? That doesn't quite do it. It's 1 short. Yep. Beast dies. And since you didn't play out the land, I think it is most likely that he'll blow up a land. Blood Knight and Rakdos Cackler and X. What is X? Is X like the finishing spell? Is it like a Fire Blast or something? He tapped, overtapped. Wonder why he did that. Do you have another spell you want to cast here? I mean, if you had like an Artifact Destruction spell, you would have gotten the Coercive Portal or the Sun Droplet a long time ago, I think. The way he sequenced out these plays, though, is kind of odd to me because I think you just want to dump threats as fast as you can. And he could have dumped either. We knew he drew. Oh, wait, maybe he drew both these this turn. Yeah, he had to have because he would have played these other turn because the Simprotter. But he should have all in attack there to put him down to 4. Okie doke, overtapped. Control Z, brother, Control Z. This other game should be over. Yeah, it's over. Well, we draw that, and then what's your next draw? This is out of hand. So there's 1. What is 1? Okay. Well, Reclamation Sage does nothing. What did he reveal? A Nissa. So revealed a Nissa and has a Homage in hand. Or not Homage, Harmonize. Found the land. Although, interestingly, I think... Yeah, man. Yeah. Probably did. I think I was saying that actually. I thought I may have maybe accidentally reported that incorrectly. Um, what does he have? He has what is it? The one that blows up a land but does 3 damage. So we get a Woodfall Primus here. And let's see if he reported his. Let me update this. Yep, correct result. I lost the match 2-0 or 0-2. That should be right. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I'll get a Green Sun Zenith, which means you can gain a lot of life. Obviously, cannot make the figure big enough to. What would he flip the Nissa? NBD? Oh, no big deal. Yeah, I mean, wasn't intentional. I lost that one like a champ. Got minored into oblivion. So we missed. Yeah, that's kind of a problem playing control too. Like we missed kind of bad with a our 0-4 our TT or thing in the ice the first game, and and then uh, and then just got overwhelmed essentially by his minor in the second game, which can happen. Just didn't have the removal. Run a bit of it, but sometimes you miss. That's a problem. I mean, it's probably better to. That's why I'm saying that is one of the better decks. I mean, it just plays the best of the threats and the best of the removal. So it has some answers, but really it's a aggro to mid range deck. Can close games very rapidly. Yeah, it's strong. I'll say with my play experience with it, it's a very very strong deck. What have you got, man? Can you close the game out? Your Flame Wake obviously has to attack. Hmm. Well, that doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna block the 2/2, block the 2/2, and just kill them both. Take 2, go back up 1. He wants to avoid burn, I guess. I mean, he's still drawing a Green Sun Zenith, which can get like a bunch of life gain out of the deck. Probably won't. Probably just, honestly, like, I may just take the damage and then go for. So you can Green Sun Zenith into 17. If he has 3 critters plus a 4th off of Crater Hoof, he just wins, right? And he can definitely cast that off the Green Sun Zenith. Could probably even play another creature before he cast it just to make it everything bigger. All right, he blows that up. That's going to re-prompt this thing to come back. This is not a winning strategy. So we kind of did guess that he had Fire Blast in hand. That was the last card for a while. What it is now, I don't know. But he's down to 1 mana. He blocked the first striker with that. But he's going to Green Sun Zenith into Crater Hoof. Crater Hoof +4, +4, +4. So that's 6, 9, 6, 15 plus 5 on 4, 9. So it's 25 damage. That's lethal. So he's just going to, yeah, Crater Hoof is lethal here. That's what he should do, in my opinion. But he may do something else. I don't know. Oop, we're getting chatted by someone. Nope, someone's chatting there. Solidly got my ass handed to me there. Yeah, so he cast the Master. What did he? Why would you flip that thing though? Like now he doesn't kill. I don't think. Oh. Well, at least make the 4/4 first, so it gives +5/+5. That's 10 +7, 17. Block out 4 +10. That's lethal still. If you make the 4/4, as opposed to plussing it for 1. Kind of slow rolling here, bro. Kind of slow rolling. Not really a fan. Maybe you're just not looking at it, but you had to win this turn. You didn't want to flip the Nissa. Am I miscounting the mana? No, I'm not. And frankly, here he can tap the Ancient Tomb. Like, what's he going to cast? He's already cast the Fire Blast. He's at 11 life on his turn. 1 mana, 1 card. Most he can do is probably 3. So don't go below 4. You know? Excuse me. Hoof's just going to maul him, but not kill him. I mean, I guess he could just get the Primeval Titan and finish the combo. This is just... It's like, now these slow rolls are just brutal, dude. Like, I don't know why you do it. It's poor form, bro. It's very poor form. He's in a timeout anyways. I mean, just kill him. Just put him out of his misery, man. This is definitely slow rollage, though. When you have 8, you get Crater Hoof. I doubt it came out of the deck. If it did, it did, and I'm calling it wrong. But I highly doubt it came out of the deck. And we may get to see when you cast Fierce Empath and still get to cast the Crater Hoof on the following turn. I don't even think he used the Nissa, but that could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, no, she just flipped. He didn't use her? Okay. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, no, he didn't use the Nissa. So we didn't use the Nissa, which could have still salvaged the win. Okay, he concedes. I mean, the game was over, but yeah, he didn't have time left. So that game is over, and we should be going to our last match here. So I'm going to go on a pause, guys, until it starts. Disregard, there is a game 3. I guess he's just going to time out. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. Well, never mind. I wasn't trying to win in like a minute. Which red deck wins can win in a minute if the other player has a garbage draw. Alrighty. Back to pause time. All right, well, we missed our last called shot. We guessed Sucknalis would be playing. We're playing Dr. Pringles. And he is playing, if I'm not mistaken, a mono blue storm deck. Possibly blue red. We can beat him though, I think. We have counter magic, a lot more of it probably than he does. And we have reliable threats. So storm doesn't worry me. Just as long as, I mean, he doesn't have discard either. We have discard, which we can get critical pieces of his combos out of his hand. So I kind of like our matchup here. And hopefully we can keep hands where we have like fast win cons that can get underneath his counter magic, or, are tougher for him to deal with. But I think we're going to be favored in this one. I think Grixis is pretty good in the green mirror and in the green matchup. And I would like to play first. And you too, man. Have a good time. This is a good hand. Get a little bit of discard. I'm just going to lead on the island. I really just want to hit lands with this hand. I don't think Terminate's going to be great. It may randomly be great. Oh, new pairings. Apparently not. All right, still Doc. What's going on? Stop. 2 buys. This time I see no way to avoid it. Well, if there's 2 buys, there's 2 buys. What does this look like? Current standings, we're probably like 5th or 4th. We are 6th right now. I think we can jump up though. We got the number 4 seat we're playing against. Cool, we can get him. All right, so we're playing this, I guess. No, what this hand needs is just mana. Let's try casting this. I don't think he can do anything on 2 mana. He may counter this. I don't want all this junk. So, well, actually, let's get rid of these 2. And we're going to shuffle here and just hope we don't get stifled. That would be abysmal. We're just going to get... do it now. F6 value. Poor play, but I don't think he plays Wasteland in an all-blue deck. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, that's rough beats. Now, we are very much so hoping for a land here. Nope. No land. Well, that's rough. We do have counter magic, though. So land is still good, and then we can Snapcaster it and step the Brainstorm. Ideally, a non-fetch land into a fetch land off Brainstorm. Okay. Well, discarding. Rise Fall is probably the right discard here, I think. Flash of Insight's fine. Let him sculpt his hand. We need to hit mana very badly, though. Gonna make his land drop more than likely because he just flashed. Only went 1 card deep, though. But I assume he runs a lot of lands. We actually do, too. I think we're a 37 or 38 land deck. So we shouldn't be this bad to hit. We did keep a 2-land hand, though. But we also brainstormed, which was kind of abysmal. So, yeah, we're just going to miss. This is rough. What do we even discard now? I think we discard the Kolaghan's Command. Whatever, if you're casting Factor of Fiction, it's gonna get countered here. 100%. Yeah, it's cool. But no thank you. So F6 again, but at least we don't have to discard, but like he could just win this turn. We've missed lands pretty horrifically, even through a Brainstorm. He's on 5, obviously. If he goes for it, he doesn't. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, that's our first solid draw of the game. We'll likely try to force his hand with a Snapcaster at end step, looking for another land, looking for more land. I don't even know what's best here. Black mana is probably best. Okay. I think he wanted to wait on that. This is going to be a longer game. But I could be wrong. I'm going to throw this out there, force him to counter now if he wants to. Because I'm drawing back up to 7, and, well, it may be land. It may not be as well. Are you going to dismiss it? And commit. Okay. Second from the top. Fine by me. Well, evidently we're missing. Pretty hard. Is this third or second? Second from the top. Okay, well, we're missing land again on the following turn. We could complicate into it. That'd be nice. Like if you went for a memory here. I mean, he's actually gaining quite a bit of value by doing that. I don't think we just use it here. I'm going to discard again. I'm going to discard the Lightning Bolt. I don't think it's the most relevant card. Okie doke. Well, I think we go for mana efficiency here. Or maybe not. I mean, yeah, no, we should. If you want to counter this, go ahead. And I'll have to guess as to what you do or do not need. Well, that's rough. So what are we giving you? We're giving you this, and this. Go. Okay, keeps the into the royal. And go. Well, can you win this turn? You have a lot of mana, so I assume you're very close. I'm tapped out. So I may lose this first one, but this has been a pretty hot garbage draw for me. I'm on 86 cards, and I have seen 3 lands. That's not good. And I've brainstormed once. That's pretty rough beats. Okay, Mox Diamond, discard a land. Cool. Okay, Mana Flare. Well, can you win this turn? I'm going to make you do it. You certainly have infinite mana, so if you have your Storm win con, you can make this happen. But it's going to take a god-awful long time. Probably like 10 minutes. Maybe only 8. Okay. We're drawing into more cards. Okay. Helm of Awakening. It's fine, so you can cast a lot of really cheap spells. A lot of spells very rapidly. Yeah, and you kind of saw how draw can very heavily influence these sort of games. I think our deck is stronger than this one, but, I mean, they hit all the lands they needed. We hit none of our lands, so we lost. But I'm going to let them play this out. All right, High Tide's in the house. Dizzying Spell is a transmute spell, like -3/-0, transmute for 3 mana, 2 blue and colorless. Getting a 1-drop, which will be High Tide. So he can make near infinite mana. He can force me to draw my deck if he has it. Did you get Ponder? What do you reveal off that? I would assume it's High Tide. Ponder. Interesting. So he doesn't have what he needs. I guess he already has mana. I mean, he has Mana Flare plus Helm Awakening. Like, High Tide's kind of overkill. He needs a win con, so he needs a draw spell. An X draw spell or Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze just takes forever. Like, that's the problem with it. So, You have infinite mana. Now what can you do with it? Because I have a time walk turn on the following turn. Can I kill this thing? No. He could just beat me to death with a Palinchron. Okie doke. Are we going to draw all the cards with commit to memory? No, we're going to meditate again. Okay. Transmuting into Brain Freeze? No, Burning Wish into making a bunch of Gabos. Okay. But I have 2 turns after this, so if I draw into Ignite Memories, okay. It has Storm, so this could kill us. He's cast 16 spells. Don't have land in hand, so it's likely to kill us. Actually, is it possible for it not to kill us? Probably not. I mean, he knows we have all gas. So you Ignite Memories for infinite at this point. Okay, he does not. So 18 spells. Is there any way I can live through this? Not really. But I'm going to force him to target me, and I'm going to force to resolve. I am F6 right now. Force Restore would be a good one against this deck, probably. So our opponent wins. We did eat 5 minutes of their clock. We were certainly dead. There's actually absolutely no way we can live with 18. Because even if he hit Lightning Bolt every time, we would die. Alrighty, so what do we want? Dispel? Yeah, probably. Chill is interesting, but no, I don't think so. I think Dispel is probably the card we want most. Batterskull seems kind of meh. Seems kind of slow. Let's submit here. Actually, Bitter Blossom is interesting too. If we ever resolve that, can you deal with it? Eh. Yeah, he can bounce it. So that was an unfortunate game. Drew 3 lands in the top 16 cards or so. It's not good. After keeping a 2-lander and a Brainstorm, that's rough beats. Well, 2-lander with a fetch land and a land to cast a Brainstorm. That's pretty rough because we saw a significant number of cards, but just didn't see the land to keep pace in a control mirror. It's combo control versus control, I would say, or more of a mid-range control deck. I do think we can get him though. So what are the cards that are inhibiting us right now? You know, maybe we don't want Bee Blossom. I think we do because he probably has like Pyromancer and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd like to play first. I'm gonna keep this. This is dubious, guys. I'm running the risk of like just horrendously flopping here. But I have a Ponder plus a Serum Visions, which seems good to me. That's exactly what we want to see. All lands on top, all the time, go. You don't run discard, I don't think. I want the next card, so I'm not going to ponder here. Really what I want to do is resolve a Jace, and I have a Force of Will to back it up. That seems good enough. And maybe I even like just save. Maybe I just save the ponder for Force of Will bait, so I can Jace. He probably has. So he has a red land. That's fine. Fix your hand. Okay, fetch into Steam Vents. Nope, Underground Sea. Okay, so he has a Grixis base deck, it looks like. Well, he's mostly blue, but has Grixis colors that he's splashing for. Okay. Well, Diabolic Edict is probably the first poor card we've drawn. I think here we are just going to ponder. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. No, you can draw this again. All right. I don't like ditching my Mystic Confluence, but it's going to happen here. Don't really want either of these. You get Badlands and get rid of what? Well, we'll see. See what he's got. Yeah, Rise from the Tide. Well, nice rip. Well, that sucks. That was a stellar rip. He's going to top himself. Okay. All right, so I need to flip this Jace back to hand and counter on the backswing. And draw some cards, okay. Aptly played around Lightning Bolt. I do want to keep Spell Snare and Cryptic Command up, so I need him to cast something like extremely relevant this next turn to make me flip his Jace back in. I also need to find counter magic at some point in time, so I kind of got to give him some value off this Jace. But if I ever find Burn, like 3 damage variety, I can kill his Jace. Okay, more land. Okay, go ahead and Teachings. What do you want to get? Commit to memory. What does commit cost? So no Snapcasters in hand. So you got commit to memory in hand, which means you can draw 7 cards if I don't have a counter spell, which I do. And I have an active Jace. So did you Mise me again? Because you definitely Mise me on Jace the Mind Sculptor. That was a beat. You move my Jace like 2 down. Peer through depths. Okay. That could be a big hit. We shall see. Mystic Retrieval. You can get back what? Factor Fiction? Okay. So Jace is back on top. Don't want Force. Don't need the lands. Duress, mildly interesting. And LB, probably also not that good. It is efficient, though. I do, however, want the Cryptic Command. And now we have a threat present. He drew a land. What he wants to do is cast Memory. Mystic Retrieval is castable on Flashback. So do I let that happen? Return an instant or sorcery card. What does he return? Rise from the Grave. Okay. I have Toxic Deluge for that, so it's not a problem. So I kind of want to just counter that here. And I don't really care that he has Rise from the Grave. So he can go memory or he can cast all the 2/2s out, but so what I definitely do here, he's drawn a card. We drew a land. Okay. A bunch of 2/2s. Cool. And is this game? I presume it is. So what we do here is we attack for 5. Um, Actually, you know what? Let's do this. We're gonna let him cast his memory here, and we can brainstorm. This just draws, right? I probably should have read this card better. So this is each player shuffles their hand together and then draws. Okay, so we're gonna shuffle them up. Okay. So I have lethal on board, so you really can't do that because I can just fire up the man land and kill him. Okay. It's a pretty good hit. All right, so here's what we do here. We just do this. And can you do anything about this? You can't have a snap. Okay. Let's begin the boarding process. Do we want anything else? Bitter Blossom seems like it might be good. Eh. This seems a little less good. He runs a lot of land. Maybe I want Blossom over that. Let's submit this. All right, hand's great. Keeping it. Only question is, do we Serum Visions turn 1? I don't know. Well, he's going fast mana. Fast mana. Was his peak? Peregrine Drake. Okay. Was he short on land? Well, he may just be getting blown out here by Chrome Mox T1. We'll see. He's back up to 5 cards. Hasn't made a land drop yet, so I assume he goes to 4 cards on turn 1. What can you draw? You draw legit cards. Now, I've got to do this turn 1. You could have Snappy on top. Okay. Shuffling away the other 2. Tapped. Could have Back to Basics. Well, that wouldn't have made sense to grab the... okay, Peer Through Depths. He's trying to cantrip. Well, Peer Through Depths is actually good to see here because it means he can't get land. So he gets Commit to Memory. Okay. Which is a very expensive spell to cast, although it is value. Has the land. I'm just gonna play out this Wooded Foothills. Could have Stifle in his deck, but if he's spending a slot on that, it seems pretty ambitious to me. I'm just gonna remand this back to hand. It's actually a very good way of dealing with it. Here I guess we have to get a Steam Vents. Could have a Daze. Days for days. Nope. Diabolic Edict. Not a good draw. I'm going to play this out, and I'm going to tap one of these 2 lands to Serum Visions. Still have Counterspell up. Don't want this. Definitely want this. Manlands are always fine. Always appreciated. So next turn we can leave up 2 counterspells if we eschew getting one of our manlands now. I'm not really in a position to start attacking yet. I want to trip more of his cards. Okay, Drift of Phantasm, searching for something. Searching for what? Pourquoi, my friend? For a 3-drop of some sort. What is the 3-drop of choice? I would assume Time Twister and any other. Oh, okay. Well, that's hopefully not going to resolve. Because that card is a beating. We're going to leave up 2 counterspells. We really have a lot of mana. Hmm. Hmm. I'm going to force him to take 3 damage off of it. It's going to make my manland's a little more relevant. He can recast it here and draw 2. That's fine. It's good value. But if he had a land, I didn't want to do the 3. I wanted to tap out for disallow. All right, here I think I'm obliged to do this. Keep up 2 counters. It just makes sense. These manlands will start to become more relevant. Exclude probably not great in this matchup, and he already exiled his Peregrine Drake, so I don't think he's likely to have a ton of critters. Yeah, that's not going to happen, dude. I'm going to cast a Disallow on it. You can cast Commit right back at me. Condescend, not horrendous. Nope, still going up on mana. Nothing. Okay. We're going to wait one more turn. Well, this is going to get countered almost assuredly. Don't want this. Don't want this. Don't want this. Probably don't want that. Probably want to just keep the Squall. Oh, I have to tap. I have to get rid of one more. All right, I'll get rid of this. Snapcaster is a much worse draw now, obviously. Okay, it resolves. Well, what are you holding then? This will kill you fast. Maybe as bounce. I can almost hard cast this thing though. A lot of mana there. Turnabout. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I guess I have to allow it. Go ahead and turn about me. Probably should have attacked. Would have been nice to know, but did not know. Okay. Well, you have a factor fiction now? No. Can you win this turn? If you win this turn, good on you. 4 cards. Time Spiral. All right, Gauntlet of Power. Go, go, Gauntlet. Well, you can draw a bunch of cards now. Then again, I also draw them too. When you draw up to 7. Is that what we're doing here? I tend to be okay with that. Because I can kill fast. He can make a ton of mana, though. All right, Mind over Matter. Okay. Oh, that's down. Hmm. If I attack for 5 this turn, he goes down to 9. I can kill him next turn. All right, we're attacking. And I think we're leaving up Condescend and Exclude. Because at this point, I guess we have a couple ways of dealing with we have a few ways available with us to dealing with Palancron, if that's what he's got. If he does, he'll tap out for it, but I have multiple ways to get it. All right, Memory. So we can make 8, 9 mana. I can force him to expend most of it. Okay. This is good. I think. Let's counter this. Well, force him to tap another island to do it. Because if we get the turn passed back to us, we win the game. Okay, High Tide. Now we have to force of will his counters or his frantic search or whatever he's got here. Baral? No, thank you. You can snap one of my 2 creatures, I assume. Well, he's making 3, so that's okay. Can you do it? Takes more cards. He may get us here. This is a very cool deck, so if I lose to it, I'm pretty happy. Idea's Unbound. Okay. He's also discarding his hand at the end of the turn, so he's got to make it happen this turn. Okay, we're meditating into pieces of the puzzle. I mean, he may just storm us out here. Did you find it? 10 cards, so you can make infinite mana. We're probably losing here, actually. Yeah, that'd be my guess. We've probably just lost because he got Mind Over Matter plus a billion mana. He's making multiple per land. What is he making? 3 per land? About? Yeah, so Gauntlet of Power plus we've already got 1 active High Tide this turn. Maybe we should have forced the High Tide to limit him on mana? I don't know. Maybe. He still made a lot with the Gauntlet, though. I kind of wanted to tap him out. I don't know. I could have played this wrong. Bribery, yeah, bribery's not good here. Okay, well, you untapped your land. You've got near infinite now. Burning Wish. Well, actually, you can't kill me with that. If that's what he's getting. Ignite Memories actually does not win here, because I have all land in hand. Which is very unfortunate for him. If that's where route he goes, it's pretty hilarious. Like, he actually needs to like put something back in my hand. This is actually great for me. So if he just committed his win con, I'm actually not dead. Unless, yeah, converted mana cost, 0 of every single card. Okay. Okay, we're going deep. Mystical Teachings for Brain Freeze. Doesn't run Brain Freeze, evidently, or he already has it. All right, so we're high tiding. And drawing into cards, okay. Okay, well, you should be able to win with those, but you're at 46 seconds. Empty the Warrens. All right, good game, man. I don't think you can win in 7 seconds. Yep. Got to play the time, man. Got to play the time. So, guess we get this one. Although, well, I guess any draw. I guess we don't know what our draw would have been, but we got it because we played. I don't know, played him the clock and got there. Alrighty, let's check out the rest of the matches, guys. All right, we got Dots versus White Weenie. Let's see what's going on here. White Weenie could get him. Nope, not gonna get him. He got way too much mana, very fixed mana, and he's on one land. Yeah, game's over. What could get it here for him? I don't even know. Knight of the Holy Nimbus? Yeah, that card's fine, but it's not going to deal with the Planeswalker he's going to drop next turn, which will be what? Elspeth? Gideon. I'm feeling Gideon. I'm feeling a Gideon turn. Or removal into a 4-drop creature. Let's do like STP into, if it's necessary, into Marchesa. That'd be sweet. Yeah, it's unfortunate because actually he had the win there in that last game, but I'm gonna force him to play at the time. You got to play, you got to practice it enough because I think Storm is awesome in 100 card, but you get clocked, you get clocked. And all right, he's gonna kill this thing and make his Tarmogoyf huge. 3/4. All right, going up on land. Wasteland's at least not great in this matchup, but I assume Dot's top deck is a lot better than Rob's. Um, oh, Debo, cool. What did he? What happened there? What land did he blow up with this? What happened? Oh, oh, Johnny. Yeah, I'm a DB, man. I don't know. Play it to win it. No, yeah, just a Chandra. That's what I love about this deck. This deck is sweet. This 4C deck. Yeah, it's going to the bin. Although it wouldn't be a bad one to have in hand. You can hard cast that with more land, or hard cast it off mana from Chandra, blow up a threat, and have a 3/2 that kills. So he's got him on, what, a 2-turn clock? Yeah. Possibly a 1-turn clock if he does not present a threat and Chandra blows up the world. Could see Chandra blowing that up. I like to block Goyf, though. Yeah, like, why would he just attack with Goyf? What does it even matter? Like, Chandra doesn't really, or Thalia doesn't really do anything here. You could blow it up with Chandra, do -3, but, like, who cares? It's a 3/2, first strike. Can't block Goyf. Could have Condemn or something like that in hand. White Weenie is not paired well against this deck at all. Like, your best hope is they get mana screwed, and you just have an efficiency draw, and you just beat them on it. Dots will take first, because, I mean, this deck is the best deck in the format. And he's a good player. Like, he's a very solid player. I'm not taking anything against that, but I think the deck is just, it's just very good, mean, the best ways to beat it are to either meta very heavily against it, with like back to basics, blood moon, stuff like that. A lot of sweeper effects. Be like I'll control it basically. But then you got to watch out for planeswalkers. If he gets a planeswalker early, you're just screwed. Um, so he's gonna blow this up. Interesting. So he must be playing a siege rhino or something like that. I don't think he's gonna drop land here. I think he's gonna drop a rhino or maybe another planeswalker threat. But like, I guess the 6 damage is not any different than the 4 damage. If his opponent had removal, he would have killed the Goyf by now because it's really his only true creature threat, and it's a sizable threat. I mean, it's a 4/5 for 2 mana. So he must have drawn that. That's a very odd play to me. Well, Praesian play, I suppose, on Dot's part. Does have the 1 forest in that deck in the mana base. Where are we at right now in standings? Where's Michelle at? All right, so Michelle was actually 5th place. We were 4th. She beat up on Booze. We beat up on Doc Pringles. Well, I think regardless of how that ends up. And who did ML play? ML must have played. I don't even know who he played. All right, well, those cards aren't really doing much. I guess Deathrite can't block the White Knight, which it's not pretty much bound to anyways. But he's 8 life. Got a Mishra's Factory. I mean, Dust Bowl, if like he gets on a screwy draw, can kind of like pull him ahead, but you really got to present low-end threats and, have Dots miss on green mana and not play Mana Dorks early so that he can ramp into his turn 3 and 4. This is one weakness of the deck is it really relies on the 1-mana accelerators. It needs to be on turn 3 by turn 2 and then turn 4 by turn 3. It doesn't need any more than that. But it does want that. Is this the Gideon or the Elspeth? I believe it's one of the two. There are not a lot of other dual white 1 or 4 drops, or it could be, I guess, Garrick and you just tapped white for it. I feel like it's Garrick. I'm sorry, not Garrick. I feel like it's one of the white planeswalkers, Elspeth, yeah. And I bet you his last card is Lightning Bolt in hand, so he can knock out the Selfless Spirit on his turn, making it so the knight is not. It's Lightning Helix, maybe? Yeah, Lightning Helix. Oh, no. Kasali. Cool. Well, I guess you can attack. He can. Oh, never mind. Yeah, is this lethal? No, it's not quite. I mean, you can kill a planeswalker here, but you're not killing the right one, and you'll take lethal next turn if you swing in. Actually, could he kill the Elspeth next turn? No, not quite, because he'd have to fire up the factory. Oh, never mind. Yeah, he still had an activation left. All right, that's won that. This must have been a long game 1, so maybe Doc Rob got him. Dots will still take second pretty handily because he 2-0'd us. ML is actually, I think he looks like he's in 3rd place or something like that, which is that's good on you, man. That's pretty cool. Playing the Planeswalkers. What are your pairings, though? That's what I'm curious about. Because I don't think that deck's hard to beat. Like, I would love that matchup. I guess if you're playing like all critter-based aggro decks, it's probably pretty good. All right, well, they're going to boards. I'm going to pause. All right, guys, we're back live in the, I wouldn't call it finals. I don't think there's going to be finals today. Well, let me check. No, there won't be finals today because there are only 2 3-0 players right now. Or, I'm sorry. I guess they are 3-0 players. Well, they're playing their last match now. So they've won their 3 matches. Yeah, I guess this is finals. Maybe that was game 1. I think Dots will probably 2-0 this match. So I guess this is finals. Someone must have dropped. Who dropped? All right, I think Littlefield dropped and Scribb may have dropped. Shug played all his matches out. 1-1. Booze 1-1. Doc Pringles 1-1. I mean, he was probably beating us, but Clock again. All right, Spectral Rider. Wouldn't be shocked if it hit 1 mana red removal. If it does, depends on what he has in hand. If he has green in hand, he'll get Plateau to do it to cast white spells, because 2 white is generally necessary for this deck to cast its most relevant planeswalkers. If he does not, he'll get a Taiga. And if he has no removal, he'll just wait till end step, and it'll either be Sacred Foundry or Stomping Grounds, I think. We got a little check here. I don't know why. He doesn't play Mana Tide in the deck, so there's consideration for countering this. Yeah, the only instance he'd play are upon resolution. Maybe it's just lag. All right, so we're seeing end step. That doesn't mean he doesn't have removal. He could still get one of the two and play like it could be black too if he has like Fatal Push. But I don't think he's going to spend a Fatal Push. All right, Plateau kind of guessed it. So Lightning Bolt. Yep. So kind of knew it was either that or I kind of figured it was white red. All right, so he doesn't have green, which is interesting because green is okay. That's going to draw him into green unless he has removal. If he has removal, he has to pop it here. You can't expect this card to kill dots, especially from 19 life, because his cards are going to kill you faster. That's just that card. Oh, well, that's a good one. But if he has like he drew or he fetched in a way like he has Lightning Helix, Reclamation Sage, not horrendous. Obviously not castable at the moment, but I don't think he would fetch this way if he didn't have Lightning Helix and another way to fix for green. There's his green. What do we have here? A Braid. Okay. Adding a new one. Flexible card. Probably boarded it in to get rid of artifacts. Very strong there. So I actually would have guessed Lightning Helix, but this new card right here is either made it into the main or is in the board. I would guess board because it's a flexible card. It only does damage to critters. Mother of Runes, another must remove. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if he still has another removal spell in hand. Turn too late, man. I think you want to do that before. It's going to get Forest. Oh, no Forest. Forest is in hand. All right, so we know his Forest is in hand. So he has 4 cards, one of which is a Forest, one of which is a Reclamation Sage. Third card now. So 3 unknowns, 2 knowns. There's no reason he wouldn't have gotten his card. Does he have to leave Mother in play? Voice of Resurgence. Fine card. Still has Forest. So he must have a 5-drop Planeswalker. My guess is he has... Well, I know he has Reclamation. My guesstimation is now that he does not have the burn spell anymore, but he has a Nissa, the 5-mana variety that attacks 4 or 5. So we're going to see Forest played here and then into Nissa, I would guess. There's the Forest, as expected. Sort of Fire and Ice. Well, Mother of Runes kind of blanks that. I still feel like he probably has the Nissa, though. And he's just setting it up so that he has to use the Mother of Runes on his turn. Interesting. I don't think you attack there. Oh, I guess you do. Well, I guess he has to block with Mother and protect it. And it limits his options next turn because he has to leave the Mother back untapped. He has to tap her to protect it, and removal becomes more alive because that sword. No one wants to get with that sword. The sword does colorless damage, which means it can remove Mother of Runes. So, Sword of Fire and Ice does effectively blank that. That's a good one. That is a good one. Getting in there. This actually also allows him to leave his Mother up to blank out any removal. So the soldier can pick up blocks here. So he's getting a heavy mana draw. Any given point in time, he could just play. I know he runs Dread of Night, and that would probably just be game. because it blanks Elsbeth out, and you probably don't even attack the Elsbeth. You probably just attack his face and do 2 damage to Elsbeth. Maybe even 2 to him. Put him on a 3-turn clock if that was your draw. So tougher turn here. I think he has the Planeswalker, but he doesn't want to put the Planeswalker into harm's way, which it would probably die within a turn. The Mother of Runes can protect it from any removal he may have, and his threats can get size large. Plus, he has one that's unblockable that could be protected by Mother of Runes if Elsbeth deemed to pump it. Although in Elsbeth, that would not quite kill. All right, so this is going to do nothing. Just going to cast a creature card. His last card, I think, is Nissa, like very strongly. Could be wrong on that. I mean, maybe it was just Sword, because the Sword is a 5-drop, essentially. It really felt like a 5-drop, though. So, I mean, I guess it could have been Sword. All right, Liliana. Liliana, not great here. Probably going to force a discard. Not at her best. So, obviously didn't have the 5-mana Planeswalker. Had the 5-mana Sword. I know it's 3 mana, but it's essentially a 5-drop if you look at the equip cycle. Gets a Ranger Vios. It's good value right there. The Liliana dies this turn, but it buys him time to draw. I'm going to keep on making soldier tokens. Although, this is an interesting line to me. So he has 2 cards left. He could have something that allows him to kill Liliana this turn, but I don't think he will. I mean, he could have, like, what, a Bone Splitter? You want to get the Liliana off the table, I think, as fast as you possibly can. I really don't care for Rexage in this matchup. I think it's fine, but it's... Oh, Armageddon. Well, it's probably game over. Well, I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, it probably is, because he's a Mother of Runes plus an Elsbeth. Yeah, you just sack the Liliana here, force him to get rid of a token, or you could just save it for sucking up the damage. But I don't think that's the best use of it. I'll just get rid of a soldier and say okay. And now you can start pumping. I think you keep on making tokens, but next turn, all right, more planes. Take the 2 down to 12. What's his best draw? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is one here. I think Dots is actually losing this one. Very timely Armageddon. Of note, White Weenie is the matchup I think we want. I think we want to play against this. We don't want to play against an Elsbeth on the board, but this is definitely a deck I can get behind playing because I feel like we have a good matchup against it, especially with the board plan we've got going on, which is heavily meta to beat aggressive strategies. Not mid-range aggressive strategies like Dots, but aggressive strategies like this. So they are more popular. So he has 2 evasive threats that are doing 4 a turn. Oh. Yep, Rob got this one. That match? No, it's not match. I didn't think so. Alrighty, don't expect boards to go long here. I can't imagine there are many cards. Actually, the white player may change boards for a game on the play. I'm sorry, in the draw, take out land, put in Mox Diamond if you have it in the deck. You can take out 1 land. Green-based land, Taiga, Taiga is the one I expect into 1-drop Mana Elf. Best would be Deathrite. Nope, Birds. Still very good. That's the second best one. Deathrite's probably the best because it functions as a threat later in the game, and it also it abates races, especially in a removal heavy deck like Dots. Not a removal heavy, but it has has a decent number of removal spells. So that's actually has a lot of ways of dealing with white weenie cards as well. I don't know if he runs the whip flares and stuff like that in this deck, but his matchup percentage has got to be through the roof unless Rob just has the draw, which the draw generally involves very good early threats, which he has not shown, into Geddon effects, which the birds play very well around, actually. So I think Dots is sitting favorably right now, especially being on the play against an aggressive deck. Allows him to kind of get a head start. No turn one means of killing the birds, but does not have. Okay, so he has a value based deck. So what does he have? He may actually have the Dread here, and he's just waiting to get value off of it. That is a play I tend to make. Like I won't always just run that out. All right, Spectral, a Rider, fine threat. But Dots needs to put his own threats down because if he does not, what appears to be a slower hand could also conceal Planeswalkers and or Geddon effects. Generally, you don't keep hands without 1-drops unless they have very enticing, and you don't want a flood of 2-drops because then like you're waiting until turn 4 to get 2 spells online. You're only playing 2 cards up until that point. Unless you have like 1 mana removal as well, and on 3 you cast your 3rd spell by that turn. But if you're not playing 1 mana critter, you generally don't want like 3 to 4 2-drops. It just makes the deck run weird. So my assumption is he's got one. My assumption is he's gonna go 2, 3, 4, but possibly two 1 mana removal. No, it wouldn't be 1 mana removal. We'll remove the birds. This is gonna be Marchesa or Ajani. Bloodbraid. Okay, guessed wrong. That's what he needed to have happen though. These are threats. The Lingering Souls is friggin' awesome. Can block the crap out of a Spectral Rider, although I think we're just going to see an attack here. If he wants to trade, he can trade. Yeah, you don't really care if you trade there. You got a Lingering Souls off of that. Good deal. And you don't want him to develop threats on the board because... So we're going to see a 3 here, but we don't want him to see him develop threats because then if he does have Geddon, like it makes Geddon really live. My guess would be Spectral Procession or Boros Reckoner. Okay, yeah, Spectral Procession. So he's going to go 3. Lingering Souls beats Spectral Possession all day long, although it's not as mana efficient for the extra soul you get, so to speak. But if he has like a pump effect, could even have like Celestial Crusader, which I believe is like the 5 mana thing that pumps all the white critters. But I think it pumps all of them, so like his spirit should get it as well. I think Bloodbraid makes more sense over a Planeswalker, so we could still see a 4 mana Planeswalker here. And if we did, which one would we be likely to see? Likely Elspeth or Gideon, but his consideration here is he has to opt to not go with mana efficiency and cast the Lingering Souls and leave up 1 to 2 mana removal because he doesn't want to expose 4 mana Planeswalker, double white Planeswalker, to the spirit tokens if in fact he does have like the one of the pump effects, like I can't think of it, like Always Watching or like the 2 mana one, not Crusade. That's a terrible card. Not a good enough card. There's better ones now. Honor the Pure is the card I'm thinking of. You got to do something. My guess would be cast the Lingering Souls back again because I think he does have a Planeswalker. He doesn't want to expose it, and he also wants to stay aggro. I think. Yeah, you leave the birds back. I mean, why not? Just it represents the most mana. So Lingering Souls, and then this could represent Terminate. It could represent Kolaghan's Command. It could represent a lot of things now with that additional land. But I do very strongly believe that he has another Planeswalker, or he has a Planeswalker in hand. There's the Honor of the Peer. So this is a problem card, obviously, because and this is what he's playing around. I think is he didn't want to expose that Planeswalker to just getting killed outright. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have because he would have been able to block with all 4 of his tokens and killed 2 of the spirits and left just 1 standing. And I think he'll do it here. Like he just wants to buy time because his cards are just better. Like his cards are better than Rob's are. And as long as he can keep the board open, like he can just expect his top deck to beat Rob's. But he needs to keep the board relatively open because any time like a Geddon hits, like the game can shift rapidly if Rob has onboard advantage. So here I wouldn't be shocked if we saw like an Ajani lead back the 2 spirits, possibly bolt 1, but probably tap a land down. If he has Forked Bolt in deck, I guess it's not as good as it was. It would have been the turn prior. So he probably doesn't have that. I mean, at this point, also, the Honor of the Peer kind of doesn't blank, but it like, Dreaded Knight's not as good a draw. Dreaded Knight before would have been like just a bomb. Like, you're like, hey, cool, Spectral Possession, zero creatures. I think that's what we're going to see here. I think he found it. No, Deathmark. Nah. I don't know. Okay, so he's going to play his Planeswalker here and then leave the 2 spirits back to block. Or am I wrong here? Tassiger. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. We have a Tiger coming. Yep, and he can activate it to draw cards. That's not bad. Okay. All right. I guess what's 2 damage? It's 2 damage back and forth. Well, I kind of like the block there. I mean, can't get in here. I mean, I guess you can, but that's not a recipe for success. Leaves your opponent up on mana. That card's good. Do you have a red removal spell? I would assume not. You're just going to Tiger this turn and find what? What did he get? Didn't show. Sylvan Caryatid. Well, that's at least protection against Wrath. Or not Wrath, Armageddon. Pro Black. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Does this get first strike? No, it does not, but he can block it with the 2 spirits. The spirits should stay back this time. Maybe he was prescient to what I was thinking. Maybe you didn't want to block this spirit here. I thought it was a favorable trade because you already have the Tiger. Well, 4 cards to 4 cards, but a Tassiger in play. This Pro Black guy, like I said, is going to be problematic. He needs to find red base removal. Forked Bolt, Firebolt. Firebolt's probably the best card for it because he's got enough mana to recast it on the same turn, nonetheless. But yeah, Pro Black is going to be an issue. Plus the Pump Knight, although he can't really make a ton of mana. So it's just 5 a turn. That's kind of quick, though. What do you have here? Is this a... This is your Planeswalker from before? Yeah, okay. That's... You probably just plus your critters. Just sack it and plus critters. I like that. Yep. I like that. That means the spirits are live. He didn't want to do that before. He's had that for a while, though. And I'd be curious to know if he watches these dots. I don't know if he watches or not, man. I'd be curious to know if you had that for a hot minute. I think you did, because I think the consideration that I believe you were making a few turns earlier is whether or not you wanted to recast the Lingering Souls post Spectral Possession. I think much like I was assessing his play, the worst thing for you after post Spectral Possession was Honor the Peer or like an Always Watching actually doesn't work with that, so it's probably a non-bow. But like Honor the Peer is like the worst with Spectral Possession after someone's cast Spectral Possession. If you were to have cast the Gideon, because it just dies like right on the spot. Card's good. Card's very good. Well, I guess it can be blocked. What do you send in? Do you send anything in? Send in the Spirit. Well, does he run Virtue's Ruin? I love that card. Virtue's Ruin obviously would kill his own spirits. He'd attack first with both. But if he has Virtue's Ruin, like, it's probably game. I don't know. Maybe not. Well, he's going to draw. Get an Inquisition back. Well, he can draw again if he'd like. Yep. Or Gideon. Gideon is making stuff mono huge is not bad. So this turn he's had to double block the spirits. Well, Tassiger still can't attack. He has 2 prop black things. I don't think you cast it. I think you just leave up the mana to reactivate the Tassiger. Obviously, it's better to give you that than it is Gideon, but not by a lot. But Tassiger unable to attack or block is kind of rough here. So, I don't know. We could see Rob take this down. if Dots can find a line, he'll find a line. I think his deck is more interactive than Rob's is. I think Rob's is a little more linear, even though I do think Dots deck is it's a fairly linear deck. I mean, there's not a ton of deck manipulation. There's a lot of draw, but not per se manipulation. A lot of it comes down to sequencing and like you saw, like the one sequencing play that he had was choice and use of Gideon over a less mana efficient route involving the Lingering Souls, which I think he chose correctly on. That card's fine, but it doesn't really get him out of this. No, I think you want to leave that back, man. Okay, he has a way to remove the Mirroring Crusader then? Is what I'm going to guess. So Mirroring Crusader has an answer assigned against it, I think, because that's 6 damage. If he can pump it at all or put equipment on it, you're just dead. Or he's just playing on Chumping with the Spirit, which is kind of meh. But you can't block it with anything else. Like, so... Council's Judgment, if it's... I guess it could be hitting the Spirit. Probably hitting the Tasigur, though. Well, if he's tapping out for something... Oof. Yeah, his game's probably over. Well, Liliana doesn't do anything here. Liliana's, like, probably actively bad. Can he kill him in one fell swoop? So that's 3 plus 6, it's 9 damage. If he just doesn't block, he can swing in for... Oh, actually, he can kill him. So actually, he can't swing for the fences here. If he swings for the fences, okay, he kills that. It's 2, 3. Yeah, rough beats. Gets back the Lily. The Lily can't shrink either of these things. So what does he need here? I don't know, guys. Probably has to consider blocking. Because that means he's not dead next turn. If this hits, he's dead next turn to pump off of the White Shield Crusader. This is 6. So 6 down to 5. This thing can get pumped to a 5, and he has to block this thing with the Spirit, unless he has an answer in hand. Now, if he has like a Lightning Helix, this game can turn around very fast. Very fast indeed. But yeah, his plan hinged on a counterattack that did 14, essentially. Yeah, so you activate this. He has one more land. You can activate this. It's a 3-3. It's a 3-4. That's 6 plus 5. Yeah, it's enough. All right, Inquisition of Kozlik. We knew he had that because that's one of the cards he got back. So it looks like Dots is going to lose here, actually. I think he's actually, this game is over. What does he have in hand? Is it just absurd? Or is it nonsense? All right, Enlightened Tutor for, I would assume, some sort of way to kill him with one of these creatures. Presume, Oblivion Ring. I mean, that doesn't really change the math here, I don't think. Unless you just, yeah, I don't really think that's relevant. Just Oblivion Rings this. I mean, he's still dead. So he needs to kill both of these things now? No, one of them. Yeah, his best hit is probably a Helix. Or a Ajani. Ajani could do it. Okay, gets the other, his Ajani. Which interestingly, he didn't cast. That would have been 8. I guess he didn't need to there. Yeah, this game's probably over. Oh, he has Disenchant plus Boros Reckoner as well. Reckoner is also just a bomb. I guess black base removal can get it though. Well, what have you got? Colgan's Command? Returning no creatures, doing 2 damage, and discarding a card out of his hand? Lily, Well, you're dead. You're going to try for it, okay. There's the Helix. Oh. Oh. Oh, Helix Y. Yeah, that's the card he needed. That's the one that turns it. So Rob takes down the turning with White Weenie. I think he was very fortunate that match. I think Dots is probably favored by about 10 to 15%. points, especially post board. I think his board is just better, but against that matchup. But you know, sometimes you just get out aggroed and they get there. So guys, this was the Chainsaw Massacre. See if any players want to play. Yeah, I got getting out one game, and you know, I think Rob had his nuts. You know, he had the nut draw, and so that probably puts us in fifth place. No, fourth. So ML beats us because if Dotson won, we've been third. But he lost that one. But kind of a heartbreaker matchup because you know that one I don't think is one that Dots should expect to lose. So oh, we're back up to 18. That puts Dots solid at 1831. Um, and good games, everyone. See if anyone else wants to play. Because I wouldn't mind playing another match. I want to quick pause to see if anyone wants to. We'll do one more. All right, guys, we're back, and we're playing. Oh, we're playing against probably White Weenie. See if we can take down the champ's deck here. He's on the play, which is a strong position to be coming from. We have a one drop. One drop succeeds. Here, so what we're going to do is this. We're going to play out the most expendable land, which is this, I think. We're not going to firebolt this. We're going to leave Force Spike up to stop Thalia shenanigans, any two drop really. And then we'll firebolt it likely on the next turn. We can do the least. He may just do nothing. But True Name Nemesis is actually very good in this matchup. You probably already knew this, though. I think we do pop this off now. Curse Scroll. It's a good one. You got a land? Well, we have to go aggro ourselves here, so I think I am going to go for a TNN here. Ooh, it's enticing. I'm going to pass it. He could fire up the Mutavault and crank me for 2. But if he's doing that, he's not activating his Curse Scroll, and he's likely not casting a creature spell. Okay, well, redraw it. I think the actual right play here is to Gurmag and actually eschew the Firebolt and race. Actually, no, we can't, can we? All right, never mind. Hmm. Okay, prop black. This gets flying, right? So I have to race here. Okay. Mishra's Factory. Good one there. Can't attack very well through a Gurmag Angler. Well, I gain a bunch of life at least. That's at least a plus. I'm fine getting attacked by this thing. Okay, yep. 1 mana for what? Okay, we take a bunch. So we're back in the realm of looking for answers here. Oh, well, that's not quite what we're looking for. Do we keep on racing here? I think we do, actually. I think we do, because if he activates both of his man lands, I can just blow him out horrifically. The worst thing for us would be an activation of Curse Scroll plus activation of 1 man land, but I think he's likely to go for the Gusto here, and we still have Miscalc available to us after that. So if he just, turns all this stuff on, I can blow the Mishra's Factory up as an artifact and blow up the Mutavault with 2 damage. I have to wait till they're both attacking, though. That's critical to this, because he could just pump the Mutavault out of range. And actually, my clock is 1 turn faster now because I have Undermine. So I'm still going to swing here because he doesn't have a sizable clock on me. So I counter a spell next turn and I win the game, right? Because True Name is probably impossible for his deck to deal with. I can't think of a way he can deal with this. Actually, I can, but I can counter it. Council's Judgment would work. He could just not play anything here, but that's not a winning strategy either. Okay. Ooh, accept. Ooh. Oh, Moto. Your windows kill me. Yeah, you're getting in there. Well, we managed to out-aggro the aggro deck. Virtue's Ruin, Dread of Night, Whip Flare, Pyroclasm, Sundroplet? Meh. What else don't I like? Most other stuff seems great. There's so many of these tourneys, like, because they're a lot smaller, kind of come down to some pairings. I can tell you right now, actually, I don't want this. I don't think I want that. I'll figure out a way to win. That's always fun. I think I want the Dismember. I think I want this. What don't I want? Maybe a 3-mana counter is just not good enough. And out of those, Disallow is probably the worst. I think Exclude's going to be good in this matchup. I think Complicate's kind of meh too, but it's a good chance for card advantage. Oh, I'm at 101 cards. I can't do that. Well, I guess we're playing it. Not a formal event. Keep. Seems good to me. Aether Vial, cool. Got a Colgan's Command for that. I'm all about it, man. Terminate, sweet. Underground C. Come on, you. Let's look at the top couple. Hmm. I actually want land with this hand. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle it up. I really actually do want land. Like, the true name is just stellar in this matchup. But with the volume of removal I have and the answer to Aether Vial, I feel very confident. Let's see what ML is up to. Oh, he's gone home. Or he's gone to bed for the evening. Oh, Whip Flare. That's a good one. I mean, unless he plays like pro black or pro red. I'm just going to wait on the Serum Visions. I don't need land right now. I just didn't want to have 3 cards in a row that were non-land or non-cantrips. Okay. Is it a Mother of Runes? No. It's that card. Probably shouldn't have F6. If it was Mother of Runes, I would have had to kill it on end step. I don't want to deal with that card. I guess Whip Flare kind of... No, Whip Flare actually doesn't get it. Whip Flare gets it in conjunction with another card. I'm going to let this get in. I don't think I flare here. I think I Colgan's Command. I think I need to maximize my value. So I think I Colgan's Command after he activates, kill whatever relevant 2-drop he has. Where do I leave up Undermine for a pump effect? Ooh, pro red. That's not good for us. Okay. So let's do this. If he has Geddon as his last card and draws a Plains, that is rough beats. So I can't kill this thing. I need a black card to do that. Commit something. No. Ooh. TT. Cool. So I'm at 12. 11's not any worse than 12. Ooh, we gotta take damage here. That sucks. Well, okay, you didn't have a way of stopping that. Cool. Okay, Oblivion Ring. Can't stop that. I gotta figure out a way to stop this Soltari Priest from killing me then. Down to 7. Bottom and bottom. Counter his next play. Try to sift for something that gets rid of this thing. If he plays nothing, I can take 2 more. We'll play around Simian Spirit Guide. Doubt it's in his deck. Bottom and bottom. Alright, so we'll take 2 this next turn. And let me delete a file, guys. Let's see, what do we have in here? This, delete it. And this, delete it. Okay, hopefully that's enough. So we're going to 3 here and then hopefully countering this thing on the backswing. Counterspell, draw a card, flip this thing back to hand. Hopefully the card he cast is a 3-drop. If it's not, it's problematic. Well, I guess it's not. We can terminate it. Okay. All right, a bunch of land. Not good. More land. Not good. Get terminated. Well, now we really need a threat. We're kind of hoping he did not draw into another threat. Did we fade it? All right, he's got removal in hand then, or he has a planeswalker threat. Ooh. Well, that's a good one. Not going to use that willy-nilly. So he's got 2 removal spells in hand. Force Spike probably not going to be great unless he goes for 2 cards in 1 turn. Well, I'm glad we drew through as opposed to bouncing both those things. The only instance he has is are likely kill spells. A smuggler's a copter. I'm going to counter this. This card is one swing, one swing is going to kill me. Drew into a Misty. Well, better than drawing it next turn, I suppose. Well, that's a threat. Like I said, I think he probably has removal. Obviously, Whip Flare is a non-bow with Young Peasy. More land. Okay, so he has Aven Mind Sensor. That was a solid draw. I feel like that's what he has. Could have Containment Priest. I'm going to attack into it regardless. Because I have more counters than he does has cards in hand. Can't think of many things that are uncounterable in White Weenie. He's trying to get to multiple threats in a turn, I think. Or he has pump effects, like... no, he's landing out quite handily here. Use the least efficient card. Not to mention, look at our top deck. And get another threat down. In the form of a 1/1, but hey. Any port in a storm. Yeah, I'll take it. I think. I don't think it's great, but it is more critters. And in conjunction with Force Spike, it may get something minor. I don't know. I mean, this deck runs a lot of land, so I think it's better to keep a spell I know I can cast when I'm ahead on board to maintain my advantage on board. He may still have that 2/1. Of note, it does not kill. Snapcaster would be a great draw. Snapcaster Mystic Confluence, drawing like 3 cards. All right, we know you got it. So go ahead and push it out. Oh, sweet. So this was actually a great keep. And that was terrible. I should have used the Force Spike. Well, whatever. That's embarrassing, but hey. Now if he draws an Elspeth, actually no, there's nothing in his deck that Force Spike gets. It's gonna have to be a second spell in a turn. Anyways, but obviously, yeah, we misplayed that. I was just happy I'd kept that when I saw a Restoration Angel, because I figured he had a flash critter, the way he was tapping and thinking. I think 3 may actually be relevant. And the reason I bring that up, I don't think I want Whip Flare anymore. I definitely don't want the lands. So the thought was I could sack Mystic or Misty Rainforest. I don't want Portent more than likely. Terminate's still probably fine. So is Undermine actually. Dissolve is probably weak. So is this. 6. He has 5 lands total with 0 cards in hand. That should be good. So let's do this. Just casting this to get a 1/1. So if he manages to acquire some board parity next turn, so I'm doing 5. Need to do 7 next turn. Don't draw a flyer. Tito, not a good draw. That card's fine. I'm actually going to let that resolve. Oh. Jump in there for 3 and put you to lethal next turn. Casting anything is not going to be good for your health. Could block. Yeah, okay. I think you almost don't, because if you draw Sword of Fire and Ice, why remand Sword of Fire and Ice, force it to be replayed if he draws. No, he can't draw enough. Actually, I could counter that. So it's 3, 3. I could make it so he had no mana left if he cast that card. So one significant misplay. Should have saved the mana leak and used the Force Spike on the Restoration Angel, which I think we aptly guessed. We didn't guess it was that, but we knew it was a flash critter of some sort that he was considering playing on his own turn, because we'd either tap low or something like that. Or he wanted us to use our counter magic on a non-flash threat. This card's sweet, but no thanks, man. That can go back. Still not quite dead, but when you recast this and I force you to tap out, you're dead. I love Grixis. This is definitely the matchup this deck wanted, I think, today. It takes a beating. It gets down to 3. Oh, Batter Skull? Yeah, why not? I can almost equip that. You can recast it. Yeah, this is where Mana Leak would have actually countered this, as opposed to just making him pay 1 more. So if you follow the misplay, like 7 turns later or whatever it is, it would have been a more optimal play. I'm still going to win here. But do I deserve to? I don't know. I misplayed once in this match, I think. Okay, got him. Good games, man. Okay, well, pretty cool. Managed to get him. Did Michelle win a game? She may have left. And Sensei's gone. Well, all right, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for the evening. And pretty cool. Cool matches. Got to play against the champ. Got to get him, but I think that's a much more favorable matchup for us than us against that mid-range monster of 4C Blood, which is just a battering. It's a tough deck for Control to beat. Tough deck for Aggro to beat, but he did manage to get there. I think Aggro probably has a better shot because Dots has meted it more concertedly towards beating Control as opposed to making it a Control deck in general. Just looking at how he's boarded it. Very, very strong deck. So good games today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video series, and take care. I'll see you next weekend.